2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Charmed Fantasy. I am your humble host. I am Charm, and this is my merry band of crewed misfits and a misfit crew. So yeah, this is Dungeons of Drakkenheim, created by Dungeon Dudes. Masterful module, and more masterfully run by our guest DM. Even so, Josh Henderson. So with that said, I get to be a player. I'm usually a DM. You'll probably see me be a DM throughout the rest of our series, the rest of this series, the rest of other series on this channel. But I have enjoyed this so much, and if you're here, you are too. Or you randomly clicked something and now you're stuck because you love what you see, and I don't blame you. So I'm playing Erasmus St. Wraith, an apothecary mutagenicist subclass. This is a brand new class the Dungeon News created. I'm loving it. I'm eating it up. It scratches the itches I have about being both caster and someone who's not afraid to get in a melee. Specifically, the subclass allows me to transform using one of my spell slots, and one of my precious 2 spell slots at 5th level. I think I'll have to double check to see how many I have. It might go up, but and normally that is flavored as a scientific transformation, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. In this game, it is a spiritual unleashing of a very angry, murdered saint. And that is just so metal. So, let's see. He's a young 18-year-old human who plays medic on the worst battlefield that has ever been seen, Drakkenheim itself, where corpses don't rot, monsters are always hungry, and your friends lose their skin. For fun. So I'm going to pass it over
science.
For science, which is fun. And kids, science should always be fun, educational, and involve keeping your skin. Laurie, what would you like to add to that?
I'm like, I don't know. Is that on the travel brochure?
Yes.
Come to Drakkenheim. Come for the monsters. Stay for the loss of skin.
Stay for the skin grafts.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Hey, I'm Laurie. Loving Drakkenheim. This is cool. He covered it all. It's just awesome. I'm playing Ryan Deline. Ryan is a half-elf warlock. She's been in Drakkenheim. She lived in Drakkenheim before the meteor crashed. Now she's been living on the outskirts. Has hooked up with this crew. Coming back in, she's really finding that there's a purpose in working in and around Drakkenheim to help protect other people and to kill these damn monsters, because that's her. She seems to be semi-singularly focused on killing these damn monsters. That's what her focus is. They've had a good run doing that so far, and she's likely chomping at the bit, ready to get back in there and do it some more. Let's do this. Kick it to Isaac.
And I'm Isaac. I'm playing Phalles the Curious. Despite all appearances, a normal, prudent, well-respected mage of the Amethyst Academy, who is currently skinless, naked, and wearing a gold crown he stole from a rat. He's really just having a weird day, though. This is normal. This is not his normal.
I don't know about that one. This is like Phalles goes to Vegas, is what this is. He's just having a grand old time.
Fear and Loathing in Drakkenheim.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah,
we can't stop here. This is rat country.
And on that, I am everybody else, including the monsters and the contamination that is taking skin. It is glorious out here. It's a beautiful day in Drakkenheim. It's a beautiful day in Drakkenheim. High of 75. Light haze. Traffic is terrible. Yeah. Yes, it's Celsius. And last time we left off, our glorious 2.5, because you get a half point for having skin, arrived back in Emberwood, managed to get their affairs in order, got their rewards for their heroism for spending was it 2 full days in Drakkenheim? So 2 full days and nights in Drakkenheim,
Yep.
which is pretty wild. That's a pretty wild ride. Quite frankly, clearing out the Rat's Nest Tavern is a big deal, a big win. It's close to the Shepherd's Gate, which is housed by the Hooded Lanterns. So no more kind of rats or ratlings rolling up in their territory. One less thing to worry about. Handling a lot of things along the way, retrieving a large delirium shard. Overall a pretty big win. Dispatching not just the ratlings but the leader of the ratlings, which is not a small accomplishment.
He bit me.
I mean, hey.
Now you have to die.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at now. Is that the Heroes 3 are enjoying at least a moment of respite, and have leveled up. So they are all level 5. Hooray! Congratulations. That's exciting. And now kind of deciding what to do. So River of the Amethyst Academy said that she would be reaching out to you within the next couple days. Should you be looking for something to do or kind of be pointing in the right direction. Camp Dawn, as you awake the next day, is still empty. Like, you know where everyone kind of went. They're all in Drakkenheim. But empty so far as there's guards and a couple messengers, but that's about it. Emberwood, however, just seems normal, day to day. So that's kind of how you find yourselves, and so you have a little bit of a choice to make. Is there any particular area that you are looking to go? I know a couple of you have personal quests or personal goals that you would like to accomplish. You can wait for River. You can wait for the return of the Order of the Silver Hand and talk to them. So it is up to the group here. What would everyone like to do?
I was waiting for the dawn or throughout the night to see if the at Camp Dawn, if the Order of the goodness, my brain, Silver Knights. Trying to remember their actual name.
Knights
Silver
of the Silver Order.
Silver Order, right?
All right,
Knights
of
of
the
Silver Hand, and I got it wrong. So it's Knights of the Silver Order.
And
So I
wanting
had a brain
to,
fart too.
yeah, wanting to like be reunited with my my kinsman, my superior officer, and Claudia. Is it Claudia? Yeah. Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta check my notes. It's been a while. It's been a week. There we go.
Forgetting about Claudia.
It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing in my life if I start thinking too much about a fictional person's name. I talking in my sleep could cause me problems.
Okay, so you're waiting for them. Sorry to pull their list up here. I will say one of the things that you notice as you kind of awake and essentially you're just kind of waiting for them for any word. You see a couple messengers come in and out of Camp Dawn. They seem to be leaving things in the effect of the kind of clerk, I guess, for the Knight Captain. Or at least that's what you think. Like, they're going into the Knight Captain's tent, and then they leave relatively quickly there afterwards to head kind of back towards Drakkenheim. You also know this is a very normal operating procedure when there's a lot of operators kind of in the field in Drakkenheim. Messages are often sent from the city to Camp Dawn. It is an incredibly dangerous job to be a messenger because you have to survive. Right.
I feel like that's probably how I got my startings in my youth.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Is at least running a couple messenger missions. It's super risky because you fly solo. You gotta fly fast. You make a lot of noise, and you gotta be able to move really quickly away from danger because you can't engage any of it. So.
28 days later, just constant cardio.
Yeah, pretty much. But you see a couple of them come and go, which is a normal operating procedure for when large contingents are in the city.
Okay.
But I will leave it up to the three of you to decide what you would like to do next. You have the option of moving towards your personal goals, or to maybe even just go and talk to River, or wait for her to reach out.
I'm gonna. Yeah, she said she'd reach out, and I'm gonna take her at her word there. Like I'd like to see if I can acquire a small animal.
Okay, what kind of small animal are you looking for?
I mean, like whatever they got in the woods around here.
You've seen me with a raccoon. So
yeah,
you know
I know
that
you have a raccoon. I don't want to mess
you've
with your raccoon.
No, I was just saying that for reference. He didn't get that imported. That's homegrown here.
I mean, I will say there's not a lot of
wildlife around here.
It would take you a minute to find one.
Okay.
Because there's the corruption in the haze is moving pretty quickly. It's pretty hard to live here for things, and they'll just move on. They'll just move on.
I'll find something while we're in Drakkenheim then.
Perfect.
Perfect.
In that case, oh god, the followers of the Fallen Fire, okay, so I got some information on where they hang out.
Yes.
I wanna reach out.
In Emberwood.
Okay. Not in.
Pull it up real quick.
Factions. Is it in places? Maybe.
I will be able to tell you in just a second.
People.
Because they definitely hang out.
Yeah, I was told to talk to Katya. No, or is Katya who I talk to?
Katya is who you talk to.
Okay.
You're probably looking for Lucretia Matthias.
Okay, yeah, I had that. I thought that she was too important to talk to me.
That's the struggle. That's like the main person to talk to, but whether or not you're going to be able to talk to her is going to be kind of an unknown thing. Let's see. Okay. So there is. You have seen a couple what look like pilgrims, kind of wandering around the outskirts of Emberwood. They seem to be going towards one of the older barns that's kind of out near Hendrick's farm, so it's a little bit outside of the town. And you've heard the name Nathaniel Flint around, so you can go to there. It kind of seems like that seems to be a gathering area for them.
Okay.
If you're looking to touch base with them and get to know them a little bit.
Yeah, I'd love to stop by there and express interest. God, I don't know if they're just gonna murder me though.
I mean, you've seen them in Emberwood. They're
yeah.
I mean, they're full blown cultists, but they're fine. They're not gonna just straight up murk you.
in general, I don't have skin right now though. They might feel a way about that.
Well, okay. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a religion check for me.
Roll for skin, please.
Yeah,
roll for skin.
Go ahead and roll a religion check.
Classic.
Okay, that's going to be a whole 9.
A whole 9. Okay, so let me pull
Who's a
this up
whole?
here.
Give him
And
virtual
I know
guidance.
they've got issue with anybody profaning the crystals and using them in a non-reverent way.
Yes. So
which
that's big for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't beat that guy.
So that's a great starting point. Is that like if you were not being respectful of the delirium and its power, that might cause you issues.
Yeah, like I'm just wondering if like, am I not respectful by default?
Factory setting, not respectful.
Not respectful.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to find.
I think maybe overnight, like a thin layer of skin has started to come back.
I'm scabbing, I'm sure.
Oh, you got a scab. Oh.
Got a scab.
Okay. This is a little bit spicy, like, because I would probably say, mechanically, what I would probably end up doing is I would kick you off either in a good light or a bad light by a luck roll.
Okay. That feels good.
Because that's kind of like they would see you and see the effects of the contamination, which means that you did something with the delirium, but they don't know you, and so they could just assume that you're like, okay, you know, you went through a religious experience and now you have come to us to fulfill.
Yeah, that was kind of the framing I was hoping to go with.
Yeah. Either that or they're gonna be like, no, you used it incorrectly. You didn't respect.
We can smell the wizard stink on you.
Yeah.
Wizard stink. Yeah, it's the bat guano spelled wrong.
Yeah.
I hate that. A little more.
Yeah. Actually, I think higher priority though is can I go hunt out Ansem Lang and let him know that we rescued his sister?
Yeah. Let me see. Where is he again? There's a map here that I reference. Yeah, super easy to find. Ansem, he's over probably by the tower, I would imagine. Let me find.
Yeah, that's where he was hanging out last time.
Yeah. And that seems to be kind of a general area for the Hooded Lanterns in Emberwood. So, you know, you head over to the watchtower and you actually see him on the steps, kind of fixing up a wooden bow that he has. So kind of like polishing it and kind of cleaning it up a little bit. You know, just kind of hanging out, kind of keeping guys.
Oh, no way.
Oh, geez.
It's Haley's. It's Haley's.
Oh, I'm gonna need you to roll persuasion with disadvantage on whether he just runs away from you.
4.
4. Yeah, I think he takes one look at you and goes, Phalles, okay, yeah, absolutely, and like gets up and like closes the door and like looks outside one of the windows and you hear the bow being drawn. He goes, What do you want?
Oh, we just got back from Drakkenheim. Can you tell?
Kinda.
Yeah. We had a time. Petra's safe though. She's making her own way back here and should be here in the next couple days.
Okay. Does she have her skin?
The last we saw her, she was still in Drakkenheim, but she had all her skin at that point. We left her with a detachment of Hooded Lanterns over at one of the gates.
Oh, okay. So, and you hear the, and you kind of like, you know, kind of lets the bow down. You kind of see he opens the door and he goes, "Oh, by Shepherd's Gate then."
Yeah, that's the one.
Great. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really nice crown, quite frankly. I'm not getting anywhere near you, but I really appreciate it. She said she'd be here in a couple days. Usually they cycle off of Shepherd's Gate, so she should be here in, I imagine.
Yeah, I just the impression I got was that she was taking the long way around. Yeah.
Okay.
To avoid getting super murdered, you know.
Probably a good idea considering you just. But it's fine. She will be safe amongst the compatriots of the Hoodlanders.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing we'd gone the safe way too.
I can
had
see that.
skin when we parted ways.
Yeah, I kind of wish you had gone the safe way too. I'm going to be honest, for my own sanity here.
Just
But
having nightmares.
I really appreciate your help. It clearly seems like you have already kind of put in the good word with the Hooded Lanterns and the higher ups.
Yeah.
But I will kind of follow up on that and make sure that they know that you exist. Ideally with skin next time they see you.
Yeah, skin's interesting. The amount of time it takes to regrow is really variable. I've got a couple different charts I've been consulting. But hopefully within I don't know, a couple months, I'll be good as new.
A couple months, okay. Well, we're definitely going to be in touch with you sooner than that.
Okay.
I'll just let them know that you don't have any skin. We've
that'd be
seen
good.
worse. I gotta be honest. So
People have been having a reaction, understandably. But yeah, if you could just let people know that I don't have skin, but I'm still cool.
Yeah, because normally the people who don't have skin are already turned, right, and are still in Drakkenheim. So it's a little unnerving to see one walking around.
Yeah, no,
outside.
Ghost stole it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
really. A ghost stole your skin. Okay.
Yeah. I was the whole thing. I got possessed, and my skin exploded off.
Okay,
but,
and he pulls out this notebook, and you just see him write something down and kind of close it and just go.
Yeah, we beat up that ghost until it left. I think it's probably still there. Do you want a note of where we ran into it?
That'd be great.
Go in the skin exploding ghost building.
I like my skin.
Yeah, tell people about this place.
Yeah,
tell your friends.
Good idea. That's good. That's a good idea. And you relay this information of where it was. He's just don't go to skin exploding ghost zone. And circles it with a little map of the outer city.
Cool. Anyways, I'll see you around.
Yeah. Good luck. And kind of close it and just kind of still in the doorway. Hasn't left the doorway. It's just what the fuck. I sent this man on a mission to save my sister and he lost his skin. Oh no. What have I done?
Amazing.
And that was just the kind of awkward I was hoping for. It's
kind of reputation we're trying to foster around here.
I did want to go out to that farm, but Laurie, did you want to do a thing first?
I'm actually okay. Woke up in the morning, feeling good, feeling well rested. Went to sleep thinking about everything we've been going through and skills that I need to be even better at this. So it's amazing when you think about something before you go to sleep. Think about a problem, you wake up with solutions. So I woke up thinking about some solutions of some problems that we've had. So I wake up and I'm writing in my journal, came up with a couple ways to maybe keep us safe when we have to spend the night in Drakkenheim, a little way to kind of set an alarm around us so that we could maybe sleep and be notified if something's coming in. And yeah, just looking at ways to do what we do even better. And take a walk around, getting a little bit outside. Happy to be in air that she can breathe.
Mm-hmm. That's not purple.
Right, exactly. And having an enjoyable time. Again, working on the journal, writing things down, and then probably going to where the Silver Order hang out.
Okay. Yeah,
was it Red Lion Inn or
Camp Dawn is where the Silver Order tends to hang out.
Oh. Okay.
Amethyst Academy, or at least River, hangs out at the Red Lion Inn.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, then probably not going to go into Camp Dawn. Sitting at probably sitting in the Red Lion Inn, journaling and keeping an ear open to hear any adventurers who have come back, telling stories about monsters they've seen, treasure they've seen, horrible things that they've seen. Just kind of ear jockeying. folks coming
Okay.
through.
All right. Pull this up. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me while you are hanging out.
How about you?
In the
You
mood.
want to come play? 11. Well, okay, 15.
15. Okay, 15's good. Red Lion Inn isn't the normal place that you would hear rumors usually. That's usually the other... It's not even an inn, it's like a tavern, like just a tavern on the other side of Emberwood. But occasionally, you get a couple adventurers that have either just gotten out of Drakkenheim or Queensmen who have just gotten out of Drakkenheim. Various different kind of orders. Amethyst Academy, obviously River's there. Not usually the Knights of the Silver Order. They don't tend to kind of frequent the Red Lion Inn. Sometimes, but it's rare. In this case, you actually overhear a pair of adventurers talking to what looks to be a kind of wandering mage of the Amethyst Academy, who seems to be kind of just making notes as they're speaking. And you overhear only a couple words on a 15. You hear about Queen's Park, which is the location you know very well. You hear the words Eldritch Lilies, and you hear the name Oscar Yorin. And there's not much else you can kind of glean from it, except kind of those pieces. It seems as though they were trying to follow up on something related to Oscar Yorin that had to do with those type of lilies in Queen's Park. And that's kind of as much as you are able to glean as you're hanging out there. So you hear that as you are hanging out in the Red Lion Hotel.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely ears perk up. That's a place that she very much wants to go. Before the meteor pretty much destroyed the city, that's the area where she lived. And that's the area where her folks, where their restaurant was. And she's really hoping to get her hands on her father's recipe book, which was always something that was very, very important to him. Feels like maybe it was even more important than she knew. And that's kind of the last thing of her family that she feels like she could actually hold. So anytime she hears anything about Queen's Park, that area, she's definitely got an ear and is going to be holding on to that. And when she talks to the guys, yeah, maybe there's a reason for us to get there.
Awesome. Great. You see as you hear that, conversation ends. You don't really get anything else out of the conversation. But you do see that the Amethyst Academy, like wandering, not a professor, but like a wandering wizard, walks over to River, who very much frequents the Red Lion Hotel, and starts to speak with her, and kind of jots down something else in the book, tears off the page, and hands it to her, and then kind of does a bow, and then walks out of the Red Lion Hotel. So you see that play out. We'll go to Erasmus and Ghost. What's your morning looking like? How's it kicking off?
Are people? So did you say people have come back, or is it?
Not yet. There's a couple messengers to and fro. It's only been a couple hours, so you definitely would have woken up had they been marching, and it's a pretty decent sized contingency.
Okay.
But kind of standard practice. Messengers to and fro to the Knight Captain's quarters. But really, nothing else has really happened. It's actually a pretty low key day at Camp Dawn with everybody kind of out. Most people out, I should say.
All right. Then I'll just kind of like Kevin from Home Alone, suit up with my scrolls and potions that I got. Paid in hard, cold coin. Keeping just enough to perhaps entice, bribe, buy out, or otherwise distract those intelligent enemies that are more motivated by the possibility of wealth. And I will leave my report with let's see, I will put the seal on it and leave it with, I wrote down his name. It's so rewarding when I have the name to say. It is Tariq Hassin, the orderly and secretary of
Yes.
Knight Commander, Knight Marshal.
So sorry,
Captain.
you're going to go ahead over to talk to Tariq?
I'm going to hand over
Oh, okay.
the wax sealed missive, because if in my mind, or I should say the mind of the character, there's no assurances I'll live long enough to see him again.
And as a reminder, the wax sealed missive was essentially about what you saw and what you
And
kind
whole
of
report.
Information.
Yeah.
Great. That's what I assumed. Okay, awesome. Are you going to tell Tariq what it is, or are you just like, hey, message for the Knight Commander or Knight Captain?
He knows it's important from
Yes. Yep.
from me wanting to put it in myself, but I'll just kind of tell him I'll just tell him a simple thank you, and I'll actually ask him, on what terms are you with the standard rank and file here? Specifically the gate guard.
He says, well, I know of them. We're cordial, but as I'm not a frontline fighter, I guess is a good way to put it. More administrative.
Okay.
We tend to run in different circles, but they all seem, nice, straightforward, kind, strong. What are you curious about? I don't know any of them too well, but I know a couple of them.
Could you relay a message in written form, as I have already taken the liberty to write? Would you be able to give that to someone in case they return and I do not?
Absolutely. Is this something that I can hand off to a messenger, or is this something that you want me to... I have a feeling you just want me to hand it off directly. This seems like a personal matter.
I know that the messengers are tasked with multiple missives and thus are prone to die before delivering them all.
It's true.
And this would be the lowest priority, so the chances of them dying far more likely than it being delivered. Having been one myself.
That's true. I remember young Ghost running around with the messenger pouch.
Yes, and all the holes it ended up having after one horrible, terrifying acid-based scenario. I'll never forget the lashings from losing all those missives.
Well, as you're soon discovering, missives can be quite important.
Yeah, there's a difference between lives being saved and otherwise. This is not something so important, just matters of a perhaps hold on to it in case of a posthumous event, perhaps.
Okay, well.
And I need someone I can trust, and if you have the Knight Commander's trust, then I have nothing to offer you other than my thanks.
Quite frankly, that is enough. If you if you consider this of great enough import that it would be delivered, should the worst happen,
Yes.
then I will do it myself, and will be in my keep until such a moment.
That's all I ask, and I hand him a note of the similar missive style, but in essence, it's like Ghost tried to take his amulet and create a signet ring out of it.
That's cool.
And it that he has from his family, that he doesn't really understand the importance of really all that much, but never takes it off ever. And he will just try to emulate the Knight Commander's beautiful signet stamp, and just clumsily have this amulet stamp sealed signets. Yeah, situation.
Sweet. And you see,
Yep.
Tariq takes it from you, notices the seal and signet as is his job, takes it, notices kind of where it's from, and kind of looks back at you, gives you a very respectful nod, like, you know, there are missives that are important, and then there's missives like this, which are a different level of import, right? They are of a very personal import matter, as opposed to, you know, hey, send more troops this way, kind of missive.
Yep.
So,
I tell Tariq, thank you so much. In this missive is a message for the Knight Commander. If the Knight Commander, God's forbid, anything happens to him, fails in the mission that we all dread will one day take us, within that note is a note that I had requested the Knight Commander to deliver to one such ally I have made in my travels here at Camp Dawn, Lance Corporal Claudia. I don't know her surname, I suppose.
I don't think it was ever given to you.
Yes.
I mean,
okay.
I can find it.
Sure.
I'm sure you would have, you know,
It would have been
hunted
probably
it down by then, but
not a stalker, not stalking.
yeah, but you just ask around, right?
I'm doing more of a Scott Pilgrim thing. Have you
Yeah.
seen a girl whose hair like this?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I don't know if it could be seen, but it's the classic. You know, it's more of that than it is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So let me might be able to find it really quick. Let's see. Here we are. Nope. There's no. All right. I'll give you a surname. There's not one assigned to.
All right.
Claudia.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
No horrific sacrifice.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Her surname is Demon Food.
Demon food.
Foodensberg.
Let me let my cat out.
Do you want to lose your skin? Get out here.
Lose your skin? Don't you know this is how people lose their skin?
This is how people lose their skin. Okay, great. Yeah, Tariq takes it, and you see there's the normal pile of missives that are either being opened or sorted, and then there's the ones that are left unopened. And
Okay.
you see Tariq actually kind of puts this one in a drawer, in kind of a separate side drawer.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a separate import than the standard missive.
Excellent. So basically I've put those in order. Now I have a means to basically have a note or writ for the Knight Commander should anything happen to me, just as a will and testament for him to execute on, and for him to give a note to Claudia should that happen, or should the Knight Commander fall, then for Tariq to give the note to Claudia. And that is the chain of events therein. So, all right. that is that.
Awesome.
And I will try to reunite with Rysan. Ryan. Not Rysan.
Right.
Ryan.
I'm like,
You said
Ryson,
that, I
what?
was like, Ryson? Are you trying to combine Ryan and Phillies? Riley's?
Wait a minute,
Like,
is
are we-
Ryson a
where are we?
poison?
He's a
Yeah,
deadly
yeah.
poison. Yeah.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Ryson is
Ryson
a
line.
it feels like it's a really good name for someone who eats
Yeah.
things that would kill people and don't die.
Yeah.
Maybe
Name
that's where my
change.
brain
Name
was
change.
thinking it.
And actually thinking about it, so I'm Rise in the Red Line Inn,
Yep.
hanging out, overheard that conversation,
Yep.
saw him give the note to River,
Yep.
and River's just sitting there by herself.
Yeah, so I didn't really get to describe River before. I kind of did, but not really. River's fun. River's a good time. River is a tiefling.
Okay.
Let me pull up.
River's a good time.
Yeah, River's fun because River's like she's kind of a short, like a tiefling mage. I think I described her incorrectly last time. Very appearance focused, clean, like really almost like fashion forward. Except the amount of pockets and pouches that River has on her person is wild. Also, next River, 95% of the time is a massive water elemental. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It's what's called a shield guardian, but it looks like a large elemental, which is fucking sick. And she also has like a little imp familiar that hangs out with her. But it's almost like, think of it like a sleeping chihuahua. Like it just kind of there. Like it doesn't react very well. Like when you come up, it's not like it jumps up and starts like yelling at you or whatever. It's mostly sleeping. But the shield guardian is just chilling. Like very opposable. Like River's cool. River has a presence in the Red Lion Hotel.
Nice.
Which is a good time.
I imagine the imp sleeps ugly. Like a really old dog.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
Over
like an old. Actually, I know someone who has that. It's a pug chihuahua mix, and it's just got the craziest eyes.
Yeah.
So.
So like that, like it's a very lovable imp familiar, but man, does it look like ragged. Like it's existed for far too long on this plane and is just tired.
Nice. Digging that. All right. Well, so I think that Rise, that curiosity is kind of sloughing off. Sorry if that's the wrong phrase. Sloughing off of
much like skin here in Drakkenheim.
Exactly, sloughing off of Phales, and Ryan can't help herself, so she's going to go up and introduce herself and chat a little bit with Rivers. So simple stuff. Just going to go on up, very respectfully.
Great.
But hi, I don't think we've met.
You see. Sorry, she's like reading, and you approach her and you start to speak, and she doesn't look up from her book yet. So
that's okay. Good. Don't want to interrupt you. Don't think we've met, and I just wanted to say hello. My name is Ryan, and I've actually recently been in the city working with Phales the Curious, and we just returned to Emberwood Village last night, and I know that he is looking forward to another opportunity that perhaps your organization may afford him. I just wanted to introduce myself and say hello and let you know that I'm also interested in opportunities that you may have for us to go into Drakkenheim.
And you see she's reading her book, and you finish her whole thing. She doesn't look up. She's kind of staring at this book, and you finish, and there's a long pause, like almost like you're not sure if she heard you. And she pulls the note that she was given, and she puts it in the book and closes it, and just without even looking up, just kind of closes the book. Goes, okay, so you were with Phales when you retrieved the delirium shard?
That's correct.
Excellent. Can you fetch him for me?
Sure.
Excellent. Post haste, that would be fantastic. I think I need his help on a thing. He's been in that area already, so it would be really, really helpful.
Fabulous. Be happy to. Sit
Appreciate
tight.
it. Opens her book again, takes the note, and kind of puts it in her, like, one of her many pouches and pockets, just kind of like that.
Got it.
And starts reading again.
All right. So I scoot out. The first place that I would go is where he was staying.
Just look for the skinless dude running around town.
Got it.
Just ask.
So I'm walking around. Hi, have you seen something totally disturbing?
They're like, it's
look for the
Drakkenheim.
crying
Yeah,
children.
I think you'd hear that. I just left town.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
He
people-
just ran out of here.
People definitely would have marked it. Yeah. Like it wouldn't take you too long to find someone who saw which direction I went.
Great.
Yeah,
Number 5. Yeah.
Super
Great.
quick. They're like, yeah, he went to the
Let's go find
the
him.
farm. I don't know. You got to be careful. There's those cultists down there. So just bear that in mind. I don't know if he's a creation of theirs, but you'll be able to find him over there, I think.
Fair enough. Appreciate it. Thanks. So I'm headed off to the farm.
Okay. All right, Erasmus, what you doing?
Yeah, I'd say the last intel you guys gave me was to meet at the farm. So that is where I'll meet with you guys, having felt a stronger pull in my divine powers. Not testing it out in the open, but excited to try something with the gang when we get together.
The gang goes to the cult farm.
The what?
Oh, I like that
Love
one.
this.
You said cult, right? The
Cult-
horses.
Cult farm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
Oh,
Mustang.
okay.
The Mustang. Rush.
It's not a cult, damn it. It's not. Okay, it's a cult.
It's
Are
a
you all
cult.
with the cult?
Here for the cult.
We're-
The cult stop.
Ask me about my cult.
The King of the Hill vibe. Just-
God.
Are y'all with the cult? Okay, so Phalles. So you have jaunted, moveth thine way towards the farm. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a backup character.
Yeah. Okay. So as you
Amazing.
I don't have one yet.
get to the farm, go ahead. I'm gonna roll it. Or would you like to roll the luck roll, or do you want me to roll the luck?
Oh, I'd love for you to roll it. I'd love to
Alright.
not know right off the bat.
Okay. Okay. So you approach the farm. The farm is a very generous word for what this is. This is more of just a gathering place.
I think I would get dressed too. I'd put on the itchy, like, rough spun robes that I got from the Sacred Flame people. They're not like vestments, right? They're like just they're like something that a regular person could wear.
Oh, I don't remember, and hilariously, it's actually really important.
whether
Because
or not they are.
I mean I just asked them for some clothes that weren't Amethyst Academy robes.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have
Right.
given me here are formal like robes of office because that
Yeah,
would
but
be
like,
crazy.
if it's the only thing they have, you know what I mean? Like
I
that's
feel like
what
if it was
I'm
the
looking-
only thing they had, they would have just told me to hang tough in my Amethyst Academy robes.
True.
Like
That's true. Let me double check just to be sure. Let me
I
like
was
they would
thinking
not give
they're-
an Amethyst Academy wizard something that he could then use to impersonate a ranking cleric, you know?
I mean, yes.
it would maybe be like
but-
something commonly worn by an initiate, but would that be like super distinctive? I figure it's just kind of like a humble robe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there might be an insignia on it or something.
That's what
though.
I'm worried about. So that's what I'm worried about. They're not going to give you like a bishop's robe, but
I
which
would
is
have been
tons cheaper.
I would have been cognizant of that. I will
Turn it inside out.
I'm just
yeah.
checking really quick because it's probably just normal robes, but I want to make sure that it's not just like You know, it literally
what
doesn't
they
have their
for-
sigil on
you're
like the
like
front.
checking what they have for sale there in the clothes. Yeah.
No. I'm checking to see the thing that they had given you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
If it was something that they would give you.
Oh yeah. So Bailey's would have covered up anything that he could easily identify as like, oh yeah, this is clearly
That's
a
from
sacred
magic,
flame
yeah.
thing. But Bailey's doesn't have any religion proficiency. He might not be able to like accurately identify all the all the identifiers there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks like it's just a normal rope.
Woo! Thank goodness.
Yeah. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. That had not been a good time. The roll I got for you would have been totally useless if you had worn that.
Right.
Okay.
He's
fine.
going for
That's fine.
someone who could plausibly be here as a pilgrim.
As a pilgrim, that's kind of the vibe I was expecting. I just wanted to double check because you put those on, and I was like, yee.
Oh shit.
Would have had to roll
Here
with
we
it
go.
anyways because
Here
I
we
don't
go.
have enough money for more clothes.
Yeah, you would have had to go and steal them, I think. Okay, great. So yeah, you approach the farm. To call it a farm again is very generous. The farmer left a long time ago with his wife. The fields got corrupted. Nothing grows. Again, this is Drakkenheim. Nothing really grows here anymore. This entire place is fully corrupted. So there's no like food to be had here. All the food in Drakkenheim is brought in, which is why it's so expensive. And you do see wandering around this barn or this farm, or at least the barn on the farm, is a couple like essentially very similarly dressed people that are kind of just milling about, almost like waiting for something to happen. You see wagons are starting to be loaded up. Goods are starting to be kind of like placed on the back of this that's like a hand cart. It's not like there's not like a horse here. It's like a hand cart. It seems as though they're getting ready, very much like pilgrims are ought to do, make a pilgrimage. And there's really only one place for the followers of the Falling Fire to go on a pilgrimage. And so they seem to be preparing a lot of their stuff to enter Drakkenheim. You don't see anyone who seems like they're kind of a leader in this space. It looks like it's either people talking, like pilgrims, like excited about what they're going to be doing, and then people who are loading the wagon. But when you approach, they look at you, and do you have your hood pulled up, or are you just
I'm
free-balled
hood,
in it?
I am hood down.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they look up, I'm gonna wave, giving off as much friendliness as I can without like a full like face.
Okay. As you approach them, they see you and they wave and they say, "Ah, Pilgrim, you've made it just in time. So glad you have made it. You're going to the city? Yes, you're going to come with us to hopefully meet Lucretia Matthias. I mean, we've heard so much.
Truly.
Yes, that is the hope that Chaplain Flint has promised us, is that we're going to move through into the city. We are going to take the sacrament, and then we are going to worship in the holy ruins that is the city of Drakkenheim, the inner city of Drakkenheim.
Well, that's some outstanding timing. Goodness. Must be divine providence. Yes.
Yes. From the very stars themselves.
Yeah. I was actually here to speak with Nathaniel Flint. Do you know where I could find him? I was directed to meet with him by Katya.
Yes. Chaplain Flint. I don't know Katya, but she's right inside in the barn, and she kind of like pushes open the barn door a little bit. It's just like, you just go inside. I think he's making final preparations for our pilgrimage. He's shepherded a lot of pilgrims to the great city, the holy city.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course.
And I'm just gonna. All right. Well, here we go. People seem really cool about the whole no skin thing. I'm not gonna question it.
Great. So you just going right on in?
Yeah.
All right. So you walk in. You see, again, it's very similar. There's a couple pilgrims here. The number of pilgrims is relatively small. It's not like there's like 50 of them. There's like maybe 10.
Okay.
And you see a couple people that don't seem like pilgrims, but seem like followers of the Falling Fire. Like they are like they seem to have either taken the sacrament or they are like here to actually shepherd people into the city. And you see,
like what's kind of the difference in bearing between the two of them? Like, do they just seem less excited?
there's a confidence, yeah. So like with the pilgrims, there's like like a nervousness, like a wavering, but the followers of the Falling Fire seem to have like a holier than thou kind of vibe. Like they're like, we have taken the sacrament
figured out.
Yeah, we're locked in. Like we
don't
are
have
doing
a lot
this
to
in
talk
service.
about with people who haven't figured it out yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Once these people have figured it out and checked the box, they will be one of us, and we can converse and get to know each other. But until that point, they are just numbers on a checklist. Is essentially the vibe. They're not being mean to them. Like they're not like dismissing them, because obviously they're like, you are trying to receive the sacrament and worship at the altar of the Falling Fire.
Before I go in, like the pilgrim who greeted me originally, can I like stop and chat with him a little bit? And like just like I want to present as like, I'm excited to have someone to connect with this over. I traveled here on my own. I want to like find out how like they were awakened to the Fallen Fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me pull this up here. Okay. Yeah, and so you chat with him for a little bit. He says his name is Dion Katz. I can spell it for you. Should you need me to spell it? But kind of goes that I didn't grow up in Drakkenheim, but I grew up kind of nearby, and was in sight when the heavens opened up and bestowed this great gift onto Drakkenheim, and I kind of I started cleansing the old world of its sin and its wounds, and so I would like to be part of the new world. I would like to be part of the step forward in the rebuilding of Drakkenheim, in the new light of this falling fire that has come from the heavens, and so I'm going into the city to take the sacrament and hopefully survive. But the stars will determine that for me, and
oh, most assuredly.
Yeah. However, I can kind of better serve the future of the new world in the flame of the falling fire is the best. And as you're kind of talking to Deanne, you see out of the corner of your eye Erasmus and Ryan kind of coming down the road.
Oh.
So you have an opportunity to just like slip inside the thing if you want to be like, oh, they can't know that you know what I mean?
No, I'm coming here. I'm actually going. Just hold that thought. I'm gonna rush over.
Deanne just keeps talking. Like you're like, hold that thought, and you run off, and he's just like,
he just follows me talking?
No, he doesn't follow you, but you just hear him as you're running away,
just
being
real
like,
into it.
And I'm really so excited to take the
I
sacrament.
imagine that in a group of pilgrims like this, like him telling the story has like attracted 3 other people waiting for their turn to tell their story.
That's kind of the vibe. Yeah. And so they're all kind of like, oh, absolutely. That's kind of how I used to. And you're just gone.
And yeah, I'm gonna rush over to Ryan and Ghost. Hey guys, hey, well, what are you doing here?
Hey, what are you never mind. I talked to River, and she said collect you and find her as quickly as possible.
Oh, Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna pop in real quick here, but
Do what you need. How
yeah,
are you
you know,
feeling?
she
You're-
can wait a minute.
Okay.
Ghost. This feels like a weird fit. Like, do you have your Silver Order armor on?
I said, yeah. This is like the coffee at an AA meeting. I didn't come for it, but looking for you.
Cool. I'm gonna be I'm just running an errand here. I'm gonna be finished up real quick. I would yeah, I can meet up with you in Ember. You really shouldn't be here, man.
Why? Didn't you guys tell me to meet you guys here?
Go ahead and roll. Everyone, go ahead and roll perception for me.
Yeah, and I'm referring to Alchemists Anonymous, by the way, for anyone wondering.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I thought it was the
that's kinda what I
Amethyst
think.
Academy.
I got
Oh, that's
12.
way better.
Oh, nice.
Laurie, AA, the Amethyst Academy. We don't come for the coffee.
For the coffee. We came here for your
That's
delirium.
so good. That's so good.
Well, I'm sorry. What did you say? Perception?
Yeah, perception.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
12.
Well, I found like the funniest post the other day about dirty 20. It was unnatural 20, dirty 20, like filthy, slutty 20. And I was like, oh, that's 10 out of 10.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Is that like with guidance and
Recently
dark
divorced
inspiration?
20.
Yeah.
Recently divorced in your early 30s.
Yeah. What'd you get, Felix, for your perception?
Oh, that's a 12 for me.
12, okay. So while they're talking, the only one, Brian, you're the only one who notices the actual followers. So they are wearing much nicer robes. The rest of the people are wearing robes like Felix. Just seems like whatever they could scrounge up. They start to kind of like look over as they're carrying boxes towards the group of you three, whether it's in curiosity or whether it's in like acknowledgement of. Essentially, the vibe is there is a cult that is actively trying to recruit new members. At this point, every one of you kind of knows what the sacrament is. The sacrament is you stab yourself with delirium, right? That is part of their religious sacrament. That's not great. That's essentially like shooting up drugs. So you see this guy who has done this thing and believes this is a holy religious moment, and then sees the equivalent of a cop on the road and one of the newcomers talking to a cop.
Wait,
on
when
the
I
road.
travel, I wear my cloak over my stuff for what it's worth.
Okay, so you're not
Well,
okay.
it's
So you're
worth a lot.
not.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm ghost, not ghost. Like I don't know, ghost rider. I'm trying to
Okay,
be.
but is your
Okay.
cloak also branded? Like, did you get your cloak? From
No, I had my
from
cloak
Camp Dawn?
before.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Joined Camp
So that's
Dawn.
a little bit different.
I don't go like I new cop with my badge. Like,
Well, so
do I get
that's-
a discount here?
like,
I mean,
so
Let's
it's-
do it.
the Silver Order really wants you to do that. So
Yeah.
like,
That's
Yeah,
like
but
their
the
thing.
reason I've been alive this long is because I stuck with ghost and not shiny idiot.
It's true.
Hmm.
It's true.
though, I mean, the flip side of that is like having like badge of office is like, if you murder me, there will be other
Mhm.
people who are mad about it.
Yeah.
I have seen too many people murder.
Just murdered because of that badge.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it.
Okay, so hopefully they don't recognize you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So you see
it-
them notice you, but you don't know if it's like that they recognize Ghost or Erasmus, or if it's just like, oh, more pilgrims. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. But you see that they do notice you as they're loading. They haven't stopped loading. They're not approaching you, but they're just like, oh, more people. Well, we were
Friends.
promised 10. That's weird. And then like load it up. Keep loading the cart.
So were you hoping to come in? Do you wanna come? Do you wanna come meet
what
with?
Are we doing
Nathaniel Flint?
here?
Oh.
Why are we here? So I know not to get us killed when I say the thing that
Oh yes, I
gets.
was. Okay. I was hoping to secure passage for us through the near gate, so we don't have to travel so far into the city.
Do people like you better without the skin?
They seem cool about it.
Ryan, are you cool about it?
I no.
No,
As a means to an end, yes. They're what I know of this order. They're the sacred claim was good. This is a cult, a branch of them that
look,
and
I don't know
has
anything about cults, but here's what I know.
Mhm.
They control the most accessible gate, into Inner Drakkenheim, and they know how to resist. They know how to resist the effects of delirium.
It's true.
as a means to an end. Absolutely. I'm not interested in aligning with them, and I'm certainly not interested in shoving delirium into my body.
Look,
However,
in
let us get
is
in those
truth.
gates.
And there are some truths that they seem aware of that are mysterious to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right.
I'm with you. Put the hood up. Let's go.
Forgive me, I'm not one much given to religious sentiment, but
Don't
I
tell
am
don't
curious.
tell them that.
Yep.
Don't tell them that. Okay, and keep in mind, River wanted us to get back soon as possible. Let's see if we can feed two birds with one seed. Yes, so I'm gonna get this taken care of, and then hustle back in to meet with River.
I thought it was feed two birds with one scone.
Do we have scones? I love scones.
I pull out some scones that I got from the
Freshly
officers.
baked.
They're freshly baked for the officers, but the officers haven't returned, so I just took a bag of
Yep.
scones.
They'd
Nice.
honestly,
This-
they'd get stale. And, if the officers
Right.
are dead, there's going to be way more scones than there are officers. So it really is a win-win.
I feel like the smell of blueberry scones, as I start seeing people probably like perk up, I will be like handing them out, and I'll be like, not a cop.
I'm like, don't ask where I got them.
Sounds like something a cop would say.
They're totally like branded.
Who else wants to
Silver-
shoot up these blueberry scones?
Silver Order brand is on it. So I got 'em.
It's got like
The
a
little
tin
foil.
foil
Yeah.
ribbon.
It's got the logo.
It's a gift from your local constable. Try.
So we're all going.
But that's canonical, barring the brand on the damn scone.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Oh, okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll meet you guys back at town. And see what River needs.
Okay.
Shoo.
All right. Good luck. Good luck. All right. Ghost town.
And I'm going to rush back and sort of like sideswipe the group of pilgrims that I was talking to earlier, and go into the barn,
Okay.
seeking out Nathaniel Flint.
Okay. So as you pass by, you see that they're still talking amongst themselves. Didn't even notice anything that was happening. They're like so in it, right? The actual followers of the Falling Fire that you walk by kind of eye you a little bit, and they're like curious. It's not a suspicious thing. It's like that was weird. Like people just like walk down the street and you like shooed them away. But they were like, we were told 10. If we have 11, that's fine. We can feed this person and get them there. But 13 is a lot. Is kind of the
I brought
vibe.
scones.
Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe. It's like I guess you could turn them away. Like they'll just go on the next pilgrimage. It's fine, whatever. And so you pass through on the inside. You see a couple more followers, and a couple more. The other 5 pilgrims are kind of in another clump. The other followers are like moving stuff, kind of getting stuff situated at the front. And you see at a table, kind of in the middle of the barn, kind of going over some missives and some papers, is who you assume is Nathaniel Flint. just seems to be a kind of normal height human, brown hair, kind of older, and definitely kind of has the kind of holier than thou vibe as the other followers. But if like it's possible to be more so, and more monk-like, I think. So that's kind of you walk into kind of seeing that. But at this point, you're still technically like under the pilgrim vibe.
What did the pilgrim refer to him as? Like as a title?
He's a chaplain.
Chaplain.
Yeah. And you can see he wears very similar robes to the pilgrims, but he wears a tabard that bears the insignia of the falling fire. And that's kind of how you can tell, most of the time, how you can tell the regular followers, like the people who have done their thing, versus like just the pilgrims or
Okay.
Lower level.
Yeah. If I could go up to him and greet him, like at a moment when I don't seem to be interrupting him.
Yeah, you see, he's talking to one of the followers, and you know, they're saying, we've almost completed preparations. Are you going to come with us to go to Champions Gate and deliver these pilgrims, you know, for you know, forward movement into the religion? And no, I'm going to stay here. I have you know, a lot of missives, and it's a very calm conversation. And he looks up and he sees you as you kind of like are lingering on the edge of that conversation, and he goes, "Yes, what can I help you with? What can I help you with?"
Hello. Yes, I apologize for my current skinlessness. I understand some people find it distressing. I'm Phales of late of Toadsfield. I encountered some delirium recently in Drakkenheim, and I was plunged into a world of fire. It was as though a spirit took me, burning away the surface veils that had ruled my life. And I knew I had to. I knew that it was a truth. There was a truth of this that I did not know. And I feel that you may know it. Earlier I had encountered Katya and her band, and she had suggested that I come here and speak with you after I warned them away from a dangerous encounter.
And you see, he kind of takes all this in, and the other follower standing there hasn't moved, is like looking, like just staring at you, being like, "What?" Like, it's like just like that's a lot of info dump, dude. What is? Wow, that's a lot. You started from the top. You went strong.
Trauma bonding over here
100%.
with everyone.
And you see, Nathaniel Flint doesn't seem to faze him. Like what you just described doesn't seem to shock him. His face doesn't fall. He's not like, "Oh, whoa." But he kind of turns to the other follower and says, you know, make ready the preparations. The pilgrims are going to be leaving shortly. Thank you. You know, go with the fire. And they leave. Still kind of aghast. They're like, what this pilgrim's wild. And he turns back to you and goes, that is quite a journey that you have been on to land at our doorstep.
I was powerfully moved.
So it appears. I do know Katya, and they are a reliable judge of character, especially when it comes to initiates and those looking to discover the truth about the holy city of Drakkenheim. I would not be surprised if Katya, in her own way, thought of you as a message from the city to spare her and her cadre a misfortune. That she took you as a sign from the city itself, sparing their lives or their health. So
that seems plausible.
Yeah.
It was a exceptionally fortuitous encounter.
It seems so. You seem to have already found your way into a situation with the Holy City. That being said, maybe you are not too far down its path that we cannot correct it. What is your intention? Would you like to come with us into Drakkenheim to complete the sacrament, to become a full initiate of the Followers of the Falling Fire? So far, it seems as though you have already accomplished all the things that would earn you enough favor to get to meet those inside.
I think of myself only as a seeker of truth, and it seems to me that there are truths known to you and not to me. If pursuing the sacrament is the path to truth, then absolutely. How does the sacrament bring one closer to truth? Is that something? I understand that may be a greater mystery that simply isn't comprehensible to me right now. But if that's something that you could maybe elucidate for me.
All will be revealed as you move forward in your faith in the Holy City and of the sacrament as you have it performed. Sadly, no one can be told what the truth is. They have to see it for themselves.
Oh yes, I understand that. And how often do the pilgrimages go out?
We are leaving today, in a couple hours. How often depends on how many pilgrims. At the moment, This is the last band for at least a little bit. You have already seemingly been in Drakkenheim.
Mm-hmm.
Should you find your way to the Champion's Gate on your own, that might count. You wouldn't have any speakers for you. But should you need it, I can give you a letter of intent to at least begin the process.
Absolutely. And is that pilgrimage to like do I know where the pilgrimage is to? Is it to Champion's Gate or through Champion's Gate?
It's through Champion's Gate.
Okay.
Technically, you don't know where. There is a specific place that they are, kind of seeming to go, but yeah, they don't say where. The safe assumption is that you are going to meet Lucretia Matthias.
Yes.
Where Lucretia is, not sure.
Cool.
So that's kind of a thing. Like that is a very kind of tightly held secret from the followers of the Falling Fire.
Yes. Okay. So, absolutely. That sounds wonderful. I have a prior engagement later today. But I would love to be a part of the next pilgrimage, or I'm probably going into Drakkenheim before then. Where should I set my sights if I'm going in, or is it essential that I go with the group?
If you are not going with a group, you will need a speaker for you.
Okay.
I'm happy to write a letter to reference Katya. I do not know you well enough to be your speaker, but your help with Katya might be able to work in your favor should you choose to kind of take the sacrament or begin the path to the sacrament.
So, provisionally, I would be happy to wait for the next pilgrimage.
Okay.
But if I happen to encounter a group and someone offered to be a speaker, that would be an option.
Yes, that would be an option as well. Usually, it takes a large act of faith or some form of trying to find the right word. like spiritual moment, I guess is like a when you arrived to Katya, it may have seemed like the holy city was speaking to her specifically in that moment. Something like that usually is required to be a speaker for someone so that they may pass the gate.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your assistance with this. In the meantime, is there anything that I can do for you if like in Drakkenheim, if I happen to or do for the Fallen Fire, if I happen to be in Drakkenheim in the next week or so?
There's a couple things. If you truly wish to join our order and be a member of the New World, it is helpful. This is a reach, but there's something about you that speaks of greater destiny. So should you find any of the relics of Saint Vitruvio, deliver them to us. You will have your speaker, you will have your passage, and we will make sure that you are at least very far along your way to receiving the sacrament. Otherwise, I have a couple individual things that you can take care of, but I have to say they will just be
a relic,
errands.
a relic of Saint Vitruvio.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything that could help me along in my research for where those might be found?
At the moment, we only know of one, and it is the Scepter of Saint Vitruvio, and it's in, which I think is where Katya was headed. It was the Chapel of Saint Brenna.
Yes. I understand that was that one is in the hands of the Silver Order.
Typical.
Well,
we won't count that one out yet. Should you find yourself in a place to retrieve it from
certainly,
the
or any
Order.
other of the relics of Saint Vitruvio.
Or any of the other relics, yes.
Happily. Thank you so much for this providence. And I hope to see you again soon.
Likewise.
And I'm going to kind of like back away, kind of like not really sure, like trying to genuflect and like not having like a clear idea of what the culture is. And then rush away back to town.
Go ahead and roll insight about your conversation with Nathaniel Flynn.
Okay, that one's not bad. That's a 21.
21, nice. Nathaniel Flint wholeheartedly believes every single thing that he said about the falling fire. And not in the sense of like, not like drinking from the cup of God. Like
he doesn't think of the pilgrims as rubes that they're going to use for something.
It seems as though it's genuine, like reasonable and logical. The prophecies and the teachings of Lucretia Matthias. It seems like those things. You're like, okay, yeah, they totally are true. Like that would make a lot of sense.
Prophecies are true sometimes.
Yeah, well, and so in the case of Lucretia Matthias, she hasn't been wrong in a long time.
Are there like public prophecies that she's made? Like,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I can actually kind of.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, what might be the record? Like her track record on prophecies.
Okay, let's see here. So she was a highly regarded flamekeeper in the Sacred Flame. And about 10 or so years before the meteors fell on Drakkenheim, she had a vision that there was going to be meteors that had fallen on Drakkenheim. And she's high up. I mean, this would be like a cardinal in the Catholic Church, basically just being like, "Yo, the world's gonna die. Like we, you know,
God told me."
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I got some vision. World's gonna explode. We're gonna have a meteor that's gonna hit us. Yada yada. Totally dismissed. Considered like apocryphal fantasy. Like absolutely, completely swept under the rug. Every single thing that she said about that day, down to the hour, was correct. Once that happened, it became known almost immediately that she had these visions, and she was elevated to the status of prophet. So she is the leader of the followers of the Falling Fire.
So she was immediately edited, what's the order of operations between elevated to the status of prophet and this is now a schism? Like, which of those happened first?
They pretty much happened at the same time, but I would say schism first.
There was a quick reaction within the church of like, no, we can't be having prophets here.
Yeah, 100%. So like,
especially not ones with these prophecies.
Exactly. The sky fell, and there was a kind of break in the understanding of the sacred flame. They're like, you know, how could this happen? And then it immediately kind of came out that Lucretia Mathias had this vision, had warned people that this was going to happen.
Which was a bad look for them.
Exactly. And the fact that they actively suppressed it and wrote it off as fantasy, there was, from that point, immediate schism within the sacred flame, and then immediate elevation of Lucretia Mathias to this kind of elevation of prophet. So the schism and the elevation happened almost synchronously, with the understanding that there was something that the sacred flame was hiding from the people of Drakkenheim that could have possibly saved them or their loved ones, or the city. Lucretia Mathias and the followers of the Falling Fire believe that delirium is sent by gods, the heavens, the stars, kind of what have you, because she had seen a vision of what would happen. And so what had happened after that was this thing was delivered unto Drakkenheim, and therefore must be holy. You can kind of discern from, I think, that where the pilgrimage is going to take you.
Yeah. So like to the crater, probably?
Yeah, probably. You know, the holiest site in Drakkenheim, to the followers of the Falling Fire. And so, but you understand that Nathaniel Flint totally believes that. Is like locked in. Like, yeah, absolutely. No, this, like, logically, it makes perfect sense. Like, have a vision that, you know, the sky's going to open and things are going to fall out of it. Great, that's funny. And then it happens. And that is not just at that point, you know, lunatic.
The fact that everybody died is not God's fault. That's the church's fault.
Exactly. And, you know, it's also that it was gifted to this singular person, and therefore is a gift to the followers of Lucretia Mathias and the followers of the Falling Fire, and therefore should be treated holy. It's a holy site, yada yada. One of the things that is interesting about your conversation with Nathaniel Flint on, what, you got a 21 on insight or something like that?
Yeah.
Some ungodly number. There is a look that people tend to have when their internal spirit doesn't match the cognitive spirit that they have.
Yeah.
There's a rift. And it's very, 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 very slight. And it's really difficult to see most times. Most times you meet someone, especially charismatic like Nathaniel Flint, and you just kind of get swept up in it, right? The personality of this carefree, kind of helpful, eager, you know, not prophet, but like, you know, chaplain or, you know, professor of the faith, is a very good kind of covering, especially when the person saying those things wholeheartedly believes it. And yet there is almost like a piece of like the smile,
dissonance?
kind of, the smile doesn't fully reach their eyes. It's there, it does, but not fully. And so, what does that mean? And what does that mean for Nathaniel Flint? And what does that mean for Drakkenheim? There was something that you saw, and you're not sure what it is yet, but there's something that you saw. And oddly, on a 21, you recognize him from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just not sure where.
Oh.
Could we take an intermission?
We can. Yes, we can go ahead and pause there.
I recognize him from somewhere.
I'm like,
Okay, so spoke to Nathaniel Flint, and then quickly left the barn, I imagine.
Oh, two questions though.
Yes.
So, you said that she had several. Lucretia Mathias had several prophecies that came true.
Yes.
Does she have like any public prophecies that have yet to come true?
From what I know now, I don't think so.
Okay.
I will have to. So she did. So she published them in. All right. Let me read this section.
So she had like all of her prophecies kind of like in a big
Nostradamus.
10 years before Drakkenheim, published them all right off the bat.
Oh yeah, she had him locked, loaded, and ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, called the Testament of the Falling Fire.
Okay, so everything in the Testament of the Falling Fire has so far come right, and they're out of prophecies now.
Yeah,
that's
those
terrifying.
Yes. So those are like a they read like a history book of what happened that day. Not like, if you like read the Old Testament and you're like, yeah, maybe Noah is like a story about, a morality story, right? No. The Testament of the Falling Fire is like
the theology section of the Bible.
Yes.
Like this happened and then that happened and that happened.
Exactly like that. Yeah, it is. Except it's provable. Like the people who are reading it experienced these moments.
Do we know what's the Sacred Flames official story about why Lucretia Mathis was right? Do they just not talk about it?
They just don't talk about it. And quite frankly, the Sacred Flame that's
a bad look.
They exist, but man, they're shattered. Like they're clinging to existence in kind of the ruins of Drakkenheim.
Gotcha.
Which is why you haven't seen many people who worship the Sacred Flame, apart from the Knights of the Silver Order, that are like pilgrims or prophets
the casual worshippers have dropped off because it has become somewhat lower status to be part of this religion,
or have moved into like the military arm, like the old school
right. You've got the devout people who are real in it, the people who weren't that have dropped off.
Yeah, because it's like what did that get us, right? Like I can still have the faith in the Sacred Flame, but I'm just gonna if I'm like wavering, I'm just gonna leave Drakkenheim. That's kind of the vibe. They're like, you know what, it's not worth it. And then there are people who are like, no, I'm locked in. Like whatever fell is actively fighting against the Sacred Flame, and I'm gonna fight it back. And they join the Knights of the Silver Order, which is why the followers of the Falling Fire and the Knights of the Silver Order are so at odds. It's because it's literally two religions bumping heads.
Yeah, two religions that are like innately existentially threatening to the other.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. This is the Meteors Falling is the 94 truths that were like hammered, 100 truths or whatever that were hammered on the door. That's kind of what this is. So that's kind of the stake in the ground of like, now we're fighting. Like that's
Well, he's right. It does suck to have to buy forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We can't really argue with that.
Yeah. And and Lucretia was right in the sense that something is going to fall from the sky at this hour on this day. Same thing.
Okay, so that's wild. I am just sprinting back as fast as I can, trying to get back to town.
Okay. Great. So it takes you, a little bit to get back to. It's not a very far farm. You see, as you are moving away, kind of outside, away from the farm, the pilgrims that were outside, or the ones that were inside, have come outside. The ones that were outside have now kind of joined together in a larger group. And the actual followers, the ones that have like the robes and the sigils and stuff, they're getting ready to go. Like this pilgrimage is leaving. There's probably going to be some in the future. It's hard to say. One of the things that you haven't been here long enough to notice, Ryan and Ghost, both of you would know this, that there are converts to the Falling Fire all the time. Pilgrimages are almost constant. They happen often. No one really stays in Emberwood. They literally show up to the farm, get ready to go, and then go into the city. So it's possible that you could like jump in one of these pilgrimages to go that way. But Phalese, you don't know
when that might be.
Yeah, and you also don't have enough experience in this place and of this, because it's such a modern situation that's happening. It's not any books or anything.
Phalese has full confidence in his ability to just walk in somewhere he's not supposed to be, and just
talk his way
have
out.
people accommodate him.
Yeah. Man, sounds like Amethyst Academy through and through. Love that.
It's worked out great so far.
Genuinely. Except for the ghosts.
Yeah. So speaking of, Ghost and Rand, where did you go when you left the farm? It was only like a little bit. You honestly wouldn't even be back to Emberwood yet. But where were you intending to go? Like by the time Phalese catches up with you, unless you're sprinting somewhere, you wouldn't be very far. But where were you intending to go?
I would have gone back to the Red Lion Inn.
Okay, so you start heading back that direction.
Awesome. As we're going, Ryan's taking a look around for. She's always looking for edible flowers, edible grass, any plant that looks like it could have an edible root under it. Just any type of vegetation that looks like it could be made into some food.
Okay.
Do I see anything?
Go ahead and roll survival.
Can I help? Pointing out things like don't put that in your mouth.
Sure. And do you have like
so much better? Yes, I do.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yes. Yeah, I've got cooks utensils, and that is, thanks for the help, dirty 20.
Okay, an absolutely filthy 20.
Filthy 20.
Great.
A tasty 20.
I down 20.
So you... how do I want to kind of put this? Can you roll me... As a reminder, when you're using like tools, is it your proficiency modifier on top of a d20? Is that how that works?
There's usually an associated stat too.
Okay, so for cooking, I guess it would be survival again. I could just let that roll, right?
I think like wisdom is kind of what I'd go with for cooking, just because wisdom is the sensation and perception, like the tasting and smelling and like feeling out timing, that kind of thing.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and
intelligence maybe too, of like if you're like baking and following exact like specifications.
Wisdom's a good one. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me. It'll be like a cooked utensils roll. So then add is it proficiency and your wisdom modifier? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Or is it
so basically like a wisdom save.
Kind of essentially, yeah.
Well, it's the same modifier. So proficiency plus wisdom. Did I mention she's charismatic? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. You could talk to the food. Sometimes that helps.
Seriously. No, it's not bad. 14.
Convince it to taste good.
So actually, no, that's solid. So 18.
18, okay. I ask you to roll twice on different things because it takes kind of two rolls to get what you're trying to get. So if you're in Drakkenheim, so and specifically the farm that you just left, everything had died from the corruption of Drakkenheim. But you come from a family of cooks. You have lived in this area your entire life, including after the meteor fall. And you do have that streak in you to make good food no matter where you find yourself. So on those 2 strong rolls, I say that, yeah, you definitely find something, but it's not like, you don't find what we would consider like wildflowers or, like for like wildflower salad or something like that. Like you don't find any of that stuff. You find like corrupted blade grass and like, like haze dandelion, and it's like things that are like just corrupted enough that like they're safe to eat. Like you could eat them. You won't have any adverse effects by eating them, but they're not normal recipes. So.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just collecting things as we're walking.
Cool. Awesome. And so you get a little bit of the way there, and then Phalese comes running up next to you, kind of hood flown aback.
Oh, I hate this thing.
Takes it off, it's like,
back on.
oh, hey, looks like you're scabbing up in a couple of spots, though. That's
oh,
good.
yeah, I can feel it.
It's good.
Yeah.
So
maybe
itchy.
we should. I wonder if we could find you something that's a little less. Another time. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm still a little I thought about getting like a silk gown, but I think I'm still a little too sticky for that. Probably I'll end up with something diaphanous,
It's a look.
Use a poncho. Like a water. Yeah, for the rain. Because I've always wondered if the rain in Drakkenheim absorbs the delirium haze.
I'm sure it does, but not a concern. I'm very resilient.
Excellent.
Honestly, yeah, I think you're right. This has proven that. You've proven yourself, Phalese.
I'm glad people are recognizing. Cultists they may be, but some of those guys have their heads screwed on straight.
Hey, that's all right. Did you get some good information from them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they're doing their ritual over by the crater. If we want to make our way that way, I got a letter of intent. So we can we should be able to talk our way through the which gate is it? The Champion's Gate, which will maybe save our lives, because man, going around the long way sucked.
Okay.
This is true.
Good, excellent. Yeah.
And
excellent
yeah,
work.
I'm y'all ever think about what's up with the prophecies of Lucretia Matthias? No, like just having that conversation got me thinking. What do you think that means?
That's
I mean,
we
can't discount the possibility that the gods gifted us a meteor, or gifted Lucretia Matthias a meteor in particular and delivered it to Drakkenheim. That would really suck, wouldn't it? Not a fan of those gods, if that's the case.
No.
That could be what happened. What else might it be? That's
if it's sent from the gods, their intention is.
I know some divination magic, and it's not normally that good.
Well, is it okay? So she clearly.
She might have summoned the meteors.
She clearly.
I also don't know how to summon meteors.
She could. Ooh.
I'm going to be honest.
Down. She knows things. She knew about this. She was right.
I'd really like to find out what they know that we don't.
Oh, absolutely, which I'm sure is a lot. I'm hard pressed to think that there's anything good that comes from this, because I understand the power. I've seen just the spells that you use using the delirium. The powers, irrefutable
Truly,
power.
like don't use that as an example. I'm doing I'm doing bad magic here. Like this is sloppy. This is not in a controlled environment. It would be much better than this. It's been in an emergency and absolute out of desperation each time. This this is not what you should judge magic by. You know, or the magic by. There are things that could be done with this if we weren't always so seat of our pants. That would
Absolutely no, and
not have these drawbacks.
well, and we've seen that. We've seen the power that the delirium can provide with Amethyst Academy. Again, we know it to be a very powerful source. However, it creates these monstrosities.
Which is a noted downside. It would be great if it didn't do that.
That's the thing. I'm hard pressed to say that this is a joyous occasion and something to be celebrated. Because to me, if this was sent for a reason, it was sent to destroy this world. How are the monsters going to be contained here? How is this not going to spread?
Well, it's not spreading though, not particularly. Like this area is befouled, and some monsters might get out. But it's been and that'll happen. That has happened. But it's been 10 years, and like this is not. If this was an attempt by the gods to destroy this world, it was a pretty lousy attempt, and they haven't made a second one. If this was an attempt to destroy Drakkenheim, a resounding success. But like in any case, like she knew 10 years in advance that was going to happen, down to the hour. That came from somewhere.
That's terrifying and awesome.
It could be a sham. She might just know how to summon meteors.
I think she summoned meteors.
That sounds even more implausible, though. Who can summon meteors?
Somebody that we should have on our side.
We're talking to a guy without skin. I feel like our breadth of awareness on the plausible versus implausible needs a smaller spectrum than we think it is.
Look, here's where my
you should be a jumbling, jittery, spewing scream mess. Look at you.
No. What I should be is a person who knows how to summon meteors, and I don't, which means that probably.
You think because you can't, it's impossible?
No, I know why I can't summon meteors, but I should know how it is done if it is a thing that can be done.
Have you looked it up?
Yes, of course. Of course I've looked it up.
I understand. This is your curiosity and wanting to understand how everything works.
This is something.
Okay.
Were it the case that mages of sufficient power could summon meteors, I would expect that to be a thing that I knew. There are lots of things that I don't know that I am unsurprised when I discover I did not know them.
What
that
if you
would be
did know them?
surprising to find that's a thing that can be done, has been done already, has been done 10 years ago, and I still don't know that people can do that.
Or Phales, you did know, and then someone took away that knowledge because you're too curious. Maybe they checked for you checking that.
I checked for that too.
Is it possible, Phales, that someone out there is smarter than you?
You've lost me at this point.
Absolutely. But in general, as it applies to mental manipulation, the practices that you can use to detect intrusion are more reliable than the practices for intrusion, right? Like adjusting people's memories is very difficult.
Right.
Making doing so a fraught proposition for yourself is pretty trivial. So you can't necessarily prevent people from manipulating your memories, but
right.
in the grand scheme of things, defense wins versus offense as it applies to memory magic. At least if detecting that your memory was manipulated counts as a win, because often there's no recovering those memories. But it's
that makes sense.
Truly,
That's
the
fair.
only people that you can ever catch completely unawares with memory manipulation are those who are insufficiently paranoid. And you take there's like a whole 4-year course on paranoia at the Amethyst Academy. It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
Just that's for like beginner paranoia. True archmages, there's more advanced fields of study there.
I think I may have seen a bumper sticker that said paranoia is the best self-defense.
Yeah. Thankfully, it was before my time, but there was a period where it was a pretty common prank to break into someone's quarters at night and manipulate their memories to make them look foolish. Make them think they've already submitted a paper or that their family died or something like that.
Mage humor.
Yeah, wasn't part of the culture when I was there.
Right.
It's curious to think of that it's curious to think that about her being right. I don't know. I don't have these. I
mean, another possibility would be time travel, right? That she saw the thing happened and wrote it down and then just went back and published the book. That's also whatever our hypothesis is, it must be less implausible than she was told by the gods that they were gifting her a meteor that would arrive at Drakkenheim, right? And I can think of lots of other things that could have happened, but none of them are more plausible than that.
Oh God, he's making sense.
Right?
We can say this, Fairies. We can say that she said something that was unusually correct in the path of least resistance, straightest, line between 2 points.
Someone told her. Someone.
And someone told her.
And how did they know?
And I feel like we don't need to jump to gods to believe that there are things out there.
I use gods non-specifically to refer to powers beyond the reach of mortal mages.
Right. So I'll say this. If I've learned anything about mages, is they want knowledge. And because applied knowledge, is true power.
Absolutely.
And they don't care who hands them that knowledge.
Well, why would you?
Exactly. And in that regard...
Do you care?
I care because I suspect I fall under perhaps an advanced degree of paranoia. I've taken the remedial courses all the way up to the undergrad courses.
You never imagine that you're getting power for free.
It's not for free. It's not for free. It's what will it cost?
Yeah, you factor that in.
I want to know what being beyond mortal comprehension.
We can just say God. I mean, it doesn't
demons,
have to say your name.
Angels. I don't care what we call them. I suspect they're all the one and the same, wearing different hats.
DM, what's my familiarity with there's not like a lot of truck with any celestial realms, right? What's my familiarity with demons? Is there is there demonology? Do people summon demons sometimes?
Here, no, and that's
no, but
in general in the wide world. It's exceedingly rare, and it's exceedingly rare to the point of like myth.
Okay.
Read it in a book.
Yeah, it's important to remember.
So there would be lots of study around here are the stories about people who summon demons. Right. Here are all the reasons why they're probably made up.
Pretty much. It's important to remember that in the world and universe that Drakkenheim exists in, there's no answer to the door when you knock upstairs, and there's no answer to the door when you knock downstairs. That begs
But there's
questions.
always an answer on the door when they knock
Well,
on
so-
your stairs. Wait.
When,
No,
you, when,
that's
when,
not-
you said, when you said that though, I imagined that as kind of like an axis of like heavens to the hells, right?
Mhm.
And I kind of think of like the abyss as a side realm of just like
It's-
assholes.
It's a similar vibe.
Side
Okay,
realm
so
of
just
assholes.
like the best of anyone's knowledge, this is the world. Elementals that you summon probably come from here or are made by the spell.
And that's
Okay.
that's kind of the weird part about it is there is definitely magic in this world, right? Obviously, you know that. The question becomes, where do the Nepo baby warlocks get their powers from?
Yeah.
Right.
We
There's
saw him.
an
Or they
unanswered
saw
question there. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? It
They're
works,
just
but how
sorcerers.
does
They're
it
really
work?
just sorcerers.
Right.
That's it. They're sorcerers.
And in the same vein, those who are paladins and clerics who profess their faith, how are they able to utilize their power? Theirs is a little bit more understood because it's been put under a little bit more of a microscope. And that's closer to like the sheer will and devotion towards this being creating this magic.
Is there also a genetic component there too?
There is not a genetic component with that, which is interesting.
Okay.
For magic, you know that it is bloodline driven, but for
so all wizards are sorcerers, but not all paladins are sorcerers.
Exactly right. And so in order to actually become a sorcerer or a wizard, specifically those two, you have to have the bloodline of it. You have to have some trace of magic in your blood to be a warlock,
warlocks,
paladin, cleric. That's just kind of a big question mark. Like it shouldn't work. But it does.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like paladins, clerics. We know for a fact that the answer is no. You don't need to be descended from the sorcerer kings, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And then the answer with warlocks is like maybe like
Exactly.
we don't have enough of those on hand to ask.
That's kind of the vibe. Yeah, they're closer to a rarity than like wizards and stuff, because the wizard power is from bloodlines. So the more kids you have, and the more people that are populated in these bloodlines, the more wizards and sorcerers there's going to be. But warlocks, like Rand, isn't descended from a wizard family.
Yeah,
like there's
by
no
the way, 100% assumes he's self-taught sorcerer. Gotcha.
Right. And that's but there's something there that is unexplained. And Ryan, as we've talked about, you have heard nothing from anyone. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of have these things that you can do, and it could just be that there are gods and up in the heavens and down in the hells that are pulling the strings, and they just are giggling at it. They like threw a baseball at the planet, and then now they're just kind of like making people dance on puppet strings, but no one has any idea. Right? The paladins and clerics are given their power by just straight up sheer devotion and will. Maybe warlocks are the same thing, but maybe it's the opposite direction, right? It's the loss of faith or the loss of care that is so dramatic. Maybe it's a full like 180 of the clerics and paladins.
It's like an inversion of that, reaching for the same source essentially.
Well,
Exactly.
it's still devotion, but it's devoted to a different calling.
Yeah.
Or a devotion of like being repelled, right?
Yeah. So it's hard to say. Like the magic specifically, like wizards and sorcerers, comes from magical blood. Clerics, so Ghost, Erasmus, your kind of magical mystical power comes from a human or a being that existed physically that died, right? And there is very clearly magic that keeps things that died around. Otherwise, you wouldn't have Drakkenheim. And so there's clearly some level of magic there. You just happen to bring in a good one. And you happen to have this kind of piece in your familial line that helps you maintain this power. And it's will, devotion, faith, whatever you want to call it, for you. Ryan, totally unknown, right? Not sure where you got those powers. But Phaley, specifically, yours is through your blood. And everybody knows that. Knows it so much that there are literally laws that wizards cannot be kings or queens. Like, they cannot assume the throne or any political power because they would be too powerful.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, no, but nobody wants a deathless. Well, okay, if you have a king, you probably do want a deathless king, because
as long as it's a good one.
the only thing worse than than a living king is a dead one.
Yeah, it's true.
Or an undead one.
Well, I
But
mean, like
boom.
undead might be superior to either. Genuinely.
Depending on how nice that king is.
Yeah, I mean, like depending on like how much the threat of civil war looms in your mind.
It's true.
Like, yeah, the lich eats a few people's souls, but like we used to have civil wars.
We
every
don't
20
pay
years.
taxes, which is
But
so great.
We don't pay taxes. Free healthcare.
I would happily make some sacrifices.
And now we've just invented the Imperium, is what we've done.
Oh no.
Except instead of 2,
God.
it's 10,000, and it's every day, not a couple months.
Like honestly, I got it. It's a tangent, but like the emperor, kind of an ideal king, just sits there in the chair,
It's true.
doesn't bother anybody. Like
The problem
it's
is
his employees that are the problem.
yeah.
100%.
You have an evil bureaucracy, but in terms of like if you're gonna have a monarchy, that's kind of a fun monarchy to have. Just like that's the king. Points to corpse and chair. Like
Where's his
with
skin?
the glowing
Look,
eye.
we don't.
No, he's
skin
definitely still.
from the delirium.
they
How do they feel about the monstrosities that are being created?
Well, so there is a special sacrament that they do that no one outside of the order kind of understands how it works. Like they know what it is, but they don't understand how it works to like fully kind of create these these benefits without any of the side effects. And that's a pretty big piece, right? Is like it's important to know that they recognize that there are side effects, but they almost like don't feel them, which is interesting.
Well, so now I want to take a shard. No, that wouldn't work. I'm like, okay, so now I want it. If we put shards into
I wouldn't want to.
things that are already corrupted.
Yeah, I mean, that'll corrupt them more, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I wouldn't want to experiment with, like, they definitely killed a bunch of their own people trying to figure this out. I would like to piggyback off of their research rather than trying to replicate it.
Well, and I wonder how many of their. I wonder if, like, once you go and you do this, and you whatever, click the delirium in it, is it like 100% success rate? 5%? 5% success rate?
I think if it was 5%, people wouldn't do it. I think if it was 100%, people wouldn't get so excited about it. I'm gonna assume somewhere in the realm of a coin flip, give or take 30%.
That's fair. That's like, I need you to roll a d4 for me. Let me know. Okay, cool. We are left, I think, as is the way, we're left with more questions than answers.
Let's just get into the nitty gritty. Let's
go, baby.
I want to use these new spells.
Yeah.
Let's talk to River. Let's go talk to River. See what up.
All right. So we're already kicked off. So you guys head back towards Emberwood, and as a heads up, for some reason my net is being super weird. So
Speaking
we'll
of nets and rivers, I cast water
Hey.
breathing as a ritual while we're walking.
Okay, perfect.
I learned a new trick, you guys. You can breathe underwater now.
Surrounded by all of the water.
You can talk to water, or talk not to. You can talk to water. You can talk underwater. You can breathe underwater.
You
The
can talk
question
to
is,
water.
how
Might not talk
confident are you in testing that magic worked?
This is inventing
That's-
a new religion.
That Ghost, that's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to us being in a position to need to use this. Thanks. And we're going to the bar. Or
All
going
right.
to the Red Lion.
Cool. So yeah, you head back to the Red Lion Hotel. River, still hanging out, still reading the book. Just chilling. Doesn't notice you as you walk in.
Yeah. So I think Thales would have stopped to catch his breath outside, and then just got in, and just sat down at like a nearby chair, and trust that she's paying enough attention that she'll notice me.
Great. Okay, you saunter over and sit down in a chair, and you notice the big kind of hulking shield guardian standing there, and the still asleep kind of familiar, just kind of relaxing, asleep on the chair arm.
While I'm waiting, like is there a so like warlocks in general are a poorly understood phenomenon. We don't know a whole lot about them.
Yep.
Do we know, like, is it the case that only warlocks are like summoning little imps, or can like other people summon imps?
Oh no, so other people can as well. So like clearly these two things that have been summoned were summoned by River. But how and where they came from, you know what I mean? Like everyone has theories, but no one.
Like familiars or?
Yeah.
Like are they not? So like like imps, are they not communicative?
Well, this one's asleep. It would. I mean, you've met like Mephits and stuff. And they spoke common, right? So
right. So Mephits presumably have like attitude, and give you nothing useful ever. Are imps similar?
It seems as though imps are a little bit more friendly. I mean, this
okay.
This is probably the first imp that you've really interacted with, and this one's just asleep. So
cool.
It seems a little bit more amicable than the Mephits that you had met.
I'm just gonna do like while I wait. I'm just gonna do like some naturalist sketches of him. Yeah.
So you sit there for a little bit.
Get real close so I can get the scale pattern accurate.
It's a funny interaction because you get there and the three of you are standing around. Obviously, Thales, you sit, and then you pull out your notebook and you start sketching, and you see River doesn't move, still reading, still flipping through. You see that she's now using the same note, Rayan, as a bookmark. So flipping through the pages.
I'm eyeballing that note. I'm like,
yeah. Flipping through the pages, kind of reading. And as you get closer to like sketch the imp, she actually moves the book over your head and keeps reading. So like clearly knows that like you're there and like in her space.
Well, I'm gonna like kind of gesture a thanks without saying anything to interrupt her.
Yeah, and then you move away and she puts the book back down. And then flips the page and it kind of comes to an end of a chapter, and she pulls this note out and kind of puts it in front of you, and says, "I need you to take this job for me. Super important. It's do you remember Oscar Yorin?" And the note is like in her hand, kind of in midair. It hasn't like because you're like a good the closest seat is like a good 6-7 feet away. Like she holds out this note. It's like you have to get up and walk over to her.
Oscar, do I remember Oscar Yorin?
Go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Can we all do that?
Can we help him with it?
Both of you roll it at disadvantage.
It's a 19 for me.
Probably good.
There's a specific reason that Felix is rolling. Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
No. Okay.
Not better than 19.
Not better than 19.
Oscar Yorin used to be a high up level professor in the Amethyst Academy. He something happened so that the Directorate, which is the governing body of the Amethyst Academy, cut all of his research money and kicked him out of the academy. He left with a full stack of books on conjuration, transmutation, and necromancy. He disappeared into the Drakkenheim area, and the rumors that floated out of Drakkenheim were not savory, not good, I guess. And that's what you remember. So that kind of comes to your mind as you're like, oh yeah, no, Oscar, you're the one.
Oh yeah, the one that desecrated the library.
Yeah. And she just goes, yeah, the very same. So we know where he is now. Turns out, he's survived in the city ruins for a decade, somehow. And he's managed to do something really important. He knows something about the haze. I need you to look at this for me. And it hasn't moved. It's still reading the book, just like with the note.
Absolutely. How do we know that he learned something about the haze? I mean, presumably we could assume that because he's been here that whole time. But what prompted this?
And this is the moment where she actually is like, she's reading. She has to hit the thing up, and she doesn't even notice you haven't taken the paper yet. And closes the book, doesn't look up, and kind of puts it on her lap, takes a deep breath, and then looks up at the three of you. So not just you, but actually the three of you. So, Ryan, this is the first time that River has actually acknowledged your existence, really, in the room. And goes...
And I'm giving her that 20 charisma smile. Hey.
I'm just giving her, like, solid, unblinking eye contact.
With your nose scan eyes just...
Yeah.
And
I'm giving her the looking just slightly over one eye in a way that's like makes a person self-conscious.
And she says, the hooded lanterns have been getting their potions from somewhere. We have found out where they're getting their potions from. And she's still kind of holding that paper.
Absolutely. And you'd like me to do some reconnaissance?
I would like you to get his research. And then this is the first time she, like, you know, it's not a group look. She looks right at you. Like, you are unblinking because you don't have any eyelids, so you can't blink. She is choosing not to blink, staring right in your eyes and says, by any means necessary. And you know that means you could hijack him, you could bribe him, you could steal it, or you could take his brain. Any of those work. All within the same realm of acceptability.
Yeah.
Was that take his brain?
Oh, yeah. The Amethyst Academy can steal the secrets from the brain.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, usually you wouldn't bother with... It's really expensive to try to get secrets out of someone's brain after they're dead. It's a huge pain in the ass. It's not worth doing most of the time, but for something like this... wow. Thank you for trusting me with this. Do you guys want to go now?
Yes. I want to meet a guy who survived because this connects to, I hope, in Ghost's backstory, that the two people he can't find are still out there too.
Presumably relevant information in this note, yeah?
Yes. Well, you haven't grabbed it yet. Are you going to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that has the information you need. You're looking for some place called Reed Manor.
Got it. Before we take off, just quickly head back to the room, grab the things, take just a couple minutes while everybody's collecting their things, put together a little vegetarian soup. Simple, it's got the stuff. Give the guys a cup, basically a cup of soup. And here's a little something that'll help us on our journey. I see how you're looking at it. Nothing but meat. Nothing but vegetables.
Nothing but meat.
Nothing but meat. There's nothing but vegetables. There's no meat in here at all.
That's very considerate of you. Thank you.
It's gonna make you feel a little bit stronger.
Failey's
good for us to go in.
Just like no spoon, just drink the soup.
Perfect.
And just as quickly as possible.
And we're gonna enjoy. God, it's not very much, but every little bit helps.
Technically, breathe the soup.
3. Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah, you have the water breathing up.
And we get
Soup
3.
breathing.
3
I think it's
temp hit points.
Yeah, if you took chef trait.
No, that's outstanding.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, well, it's part of the Drakkenheim survivor background. Short rest.
Sick. I love that.
Short rest, prep meal for proficiency bonus, and regain proficiency bonus. So, boom, 3 more.
That's awesome.
Every little bit helps.
Points?
Yep,
Yeah.
every little bit helps.
Goodness.
Okay, Great.
Wonderful. Thank
Do
you
we
so
have
much.
Absolutely. Hey, every little bit helps.
Mhm.
Do we have everything we need? I'm excited to get back into the city.
I mean, there's lots of things I'd love to have, but things are so expensive here. I think at the moment we're better off finding someone in the city to take their things than trying to acquire them through commerce and fair dealing here.
We could also do commerce and fair dealing with this person, right?
Oh, right.
I'm sure that's what he meant.
No.
Let's go.
Like how long ago did Oscar leave the Amethyst Academy?
Like a decade.
Okay.
Yeah, a hot minute. Yeah.
Pre-Drakkenheim or post or like very close?
Very close. So
Oh.
like the meteor
What?
hit. He was one of the first people to start the studies. Cracked something. They pulled his funding because he was probably, researching something he shouldn't in a new field of study. And he was like, "Nope, I'm onto something," and just took the books and just bailed.
And like the Amethyst Academy, like Galileo style, was like, "No, this is fine. You just need to fill out the right forms." And he's like,
Pretty much, yeah.
True forms.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm doing. It's so important. It's gonna change the world, and then just storms out. 100%. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Okay. Can we go? God, like on our way out, could I go and try to find Ansem Lang again?
Yeah. If you want to. Are you gonna read the note, or are you just gonna head?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought I got all the relevant information.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what's in the note?
So in the note, it describes. It hits on a couple points that you had heard Rayanne at the Red Line Hotel, or the Red Line Hotel. It talks about Oscar Yorin. It talks about his involvement with something called the Aqua Expurgo, which is kind of a famous potion. Like, I'm not going to say famous potion, but at least in Drakkenheim, the things that can get rid of contamination are incredibly famous and important, and incredibly valuable. And he's known for producing these. Looks like he produces them not en masse, but like fairly regularly for the Hooded Lanterns. And so they know that where Rat's Nest Tavern was on the map, if you go north of that, it's number 7 on the map.
Reed Castle?
Reed Manor. Number 7.
Okay.
Yeah, northwest, very northwest of the city. That's where he lives. So, location's been found. What he's been kind of working on has been discovered, and it looks like it's some type of potion that will offer protection from contamination, which is incredibly valuable for the people who work in Drakkenheim to, kind of further the efforts to clean it up. It has a reward on it, which is 250 gold. It says by any means necessary. We just need what either his research papers or whatever's in his brain, whether he be alive or dead, or his research papers are taken, and it contains all the information that we need, yada yada. It has all that information in there. It also says that he gets. It seems as though he gets a lot of his ingredients, which are the Eldritch Lilies, from Queen's Park.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you can use that kind of information with, however you choose to do that.
So, and one final thing.
Yes.
I was at the Amethyst Academy 10 years ago.
Yep.
Do I know him personally?
You genuinely do know him personally, which is why I had you roll.
Okay. Yeah, I
So-
mean, not like there's a lot of people there, and I feel like Pheles does not have the best memory for like people.
Yeah.
Uh,
a lot of people in the Amethyst Academy don't, which is kind of important because you also know River. You have met River before. She doesn't recognize you. You don't recognize her. So like
yeah, it's like if I'm not specifically a fan of your research, it's just like, okay, you are like another rogue at this place. Like,
yes, but Oscar Yorin is, I'm not going to say a hero, but an interesting figure in your studies because you are interested in Drakkenheim, the haze, the delirium, all that stuff. Oscar Yorin's the first one through the door.
absolutely,
Right?
yeah.
And so his whole shtick isn't the right way to handle it at the Amethyst Academy, but in your mind, you're like, I wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like I would do the
That
same shit if I was on the same path.
Yeah, no, like I'm here thinking like, does this guy need a lab assistant? Like,
Yeah. So like,
Totally, I'm like,
legitimately, yeah.
You've got his wizard card. It's like I've got his signed card, man. I'm
Yeah.
very. He's my favorite.
like I think it's more like I probably TA'd for him at some point. Like,
Yeah, right.
This is better than like Jedi Apprentice level.
Right. Well, the good news is we're probably going to be able to get in to see him.
Yeah.
How old are you again, Pheles?
Pheles is I think 65.
Okay, so you're older than Oscar.
Oh, I'm older than him. Okay,
Yeah, not by much, but a little bit.
good. Be awkward if he was one of my students.
Yeah,
I might actually have like the opposite reaction at this point. Like, you know, screw this guy. Like,
yeah. You're like, yeah. First of all, how dare you? I thought I taught you. That.
The audacity, sir.
Yeah. You could have just given your research to me. I would have been fine. Yeah, great. So you were gonna go meet Ansem?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you just head to Watchtower. You know, Ansem. The Watchtower is kind of a place where the Hooded Lanterns kind of hang out in Emberwood. So you see Ansem kind of milling about. There's a couple more other Hooded Lanterns kind of hanging out. But he seems to be kind of organizing stuff and putting stuff around. So it's easy to get him on.
Long time no see.
Oh my god. Jeez. Okay, you cannot with the. All right. Hi.
Look, I'm growing it back as fast as I can.
I understand that. It's just still, it's a shock. I appreciate the warning when you approach. That's a really big deal.
I try to do a wave of like, hey, I'm just a guy with no skin. I'm not a husk.
Yeah.
But you know, it's tricky because sometimes husks wave too.
That's true. Yeah, especially if they remember you. Yeah. Anyway.
I haven't had that experience yet. But
here's to hoping.
But I've come to understand that there might be an old colleague of mine staying in kind of the north end of Drakkenheim. And now I don't have skin right now. If you know someone who might be living out there, is there any kind of like watchword I could use to not get murdered on sight? I don't know if you know. I just like you've been here longer than me and have explored Drakkenheim more. If you know a wizard living around those parts.
Oh, where were you? Where were you thinking? Where did you say? You said just in Drakkenheim. Where did you?
Oh, I heard he was living in a place called Reed Manor. I'm not sure where that is.
Oscar. Yeah.
Oh, you know Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
There's more
We used to
than
work
one
together.
wizard living in Drakkenheim.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Is there more than one?
I'm still
person?
75% that there's a necromancer cabal somewhere.
There's definitely more people that live in Drakkenheim.
I know where
I
they
don't
hang
know.
out.
But...
I know where those guys like to hang out, and like this place reeks of them, even without all the husks.
It's true.
Wait, did you just say there's people definitely living in Drakkenheim?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's rare.
We've seen some of them.
They fight pretty much every single day, all day long. But you know, you could survive in Drakkenheim. It just takes a quick
You have to
quick
come out,
hand
though.
at a.
Well, only if you
Yeah.
want your wounds to heal.
Yeah, I mean, you could leave the city and then you come back. I mean, if you're trying to work on something, I mean, we have people that kind of live in Drakkenheim for a couple days at a time.
Mhm.
They leave, recover, go back in. I imagine it's very similar.
Mhm.
There also might be something that's pockets of protection. I've seen a couple of them. They're really small, whenever I've seen them, but
Wait, what is this?
Pockets of
What?
protection?
yeah,
Well,
it's
we
just
haven't
it's just
encountered one of those yet.
Oh yeah, no, they're in the inner city. It's a
Did you point it on this map? Hold up my perfect map as part of my background. I have a perfect map of the area I'm from.
Oh, from the area that you're from. Oh, he says, yeah. There's no.
The city that I'm from. It's
That place sucks.
Yeah, that place is terrible.
Yeah.
No, he if you're gonna hold up that specific section, there's no pockets of protection over.
He's just
there.
gonna draw a big circle. Okay, so round about here is
Yeah.
where you don't want to go.
Yeah.
That's the whole
This
city.
is terrible.
Handsome, that's the whole city.
There is. Let me see if I can find
a
it.
circle of protections on a guy named Saul's taco stand.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Weird.
Just a lich who just tries to refine his best taco recipe with his undead eternity.
And he takes your map and kind of puts it on his lap, and he circles certain areas. Number 12, he circles.
Okay. What's that?
Hold on, I'm trying to find some of the other ones here.
Okay.
That actually legitimately might be it.
It's 12. Was that sticks?
No, 6 is closer to
Oh,
on the
he's-
other side of 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's worth
6 is-
13. Okay.
Oh, that's right in the middle.
Yep. That's dead center.
And then he circles. What is this? 9.
Alright. Interesting. That's on the way.
I'll start with the Shepherd's Gate.
That's right on the way.
And he says this one isn't. I should say it's not a pocket of protection. Like you don't get the
that's
protection
just
from the
where
haze
there's a bunch
there.
of hooded lanterns that are cool.
Exactly. That's the garrison. So we have
Oh, yeah.
a large contingent of forces at the garrison that are helping us push deeper.
Oh, they were
into
telling us
Drakkenheim.
about the barracks that they have deeper in.
Yeah,
Is
if you
the
dropped
one?
off Petra to the gate, yes, they would have mentioned like we, for a fee, can bring you to the garrison, and the garrison is a forward operating base there that we use to push deeper into the cities. It is safe. You don't have to set up any kind of nightly defenses. It's well guarded.
Okay. So it's a pocket of protection in the sense that you get a short break from being murdered.
Exactly. Yes.
Or at least you have lots of hands to defend you if you get murdered,
exactly.
as opposed to
Nice.
there's no haze here.
Exactly. However,
Okay.
the other one is the only place in Drakkenheim that is above the haze. It's called the Cosmological Clock Tower.
I know
it's
what
just
that
a-
is. I didn't know that
a
got above the
tall-
haze.
Yes, so that goes above the haze. That being said, there's a lot of nonsense there. I don't know anyone who's made it back from the clock tower.
Yeah, harpy troubles I've heard.
Yeah, at minimum. Yeah.
At minimum.
But it is above the haze, so you're no longer affected by any of the kind of.
We could rest there.
We can
Exactly,
move
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
taking
let
a
me
look.
tell you, my cottage here is fucking expensive.
Yeah, no, I want to move there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the clock tower's free, so you just gotta.
Nice.
Just
Well,
gonna
and-
kill everything there.
Looking
Yeah.
looking over at the
Exhort
map.
them to move elsewhere.
Got it. Looking at the map, looking over the shoulder, looking at the map, and seeing where the hooded lanterns garrison is.
Mhm.
So that as that's actually very close to where we're going. So might not be a bad call for us to take advantage of that and get in there safely, because that looks like that's actually relatively close to Reed Manor.
Oh,
That's
you're heading in. Yeah,
good
Reed Manor.
information.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's super close. Yeah, it's a couple hours. I have to kind of warn you about. Hold on a sec. Let me pull this up. See if I remember. I can find this thing. Where is this stupid thing? Sorry. It's like if you're going to Reed Manor, there's a piece of information that I can give you, and I need to be clear about this. I'm only giving this piece of information because you saved my sister. Do not go to College Gate.
Oh.
Something happened at College Gate. It's close enough to where the Hooded Lanterns have moved a lot of their forces there to attempt to try and take that gate because it's one of the main gates into Drakkenheim. None of the contingency we sent in came back.
Oh.
It is
Okay.
incredibly dangerous. Everyone avoids that particular area.
Do you want us to do reconnaissance?
Oh, I mean, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
But you're not paying anyone to do so.
Oh no, it's a lost cause. That would be lost money. There's no point in paying anyone.
That's a like a whole contingent.
Yeah,
We're
welcome to look
considerably
at it
fewer
and
than
see
that.
the update. But I mean, I'm not. No one will pay you for it. It'll.
I wonder what there could be though.
So shall we?
Yes. Ansem, thank you so much. And yes, the Shepherd's Gate is where we left Petra. And presumably she should be back any day now.
So hey, why are you going to Oscars?
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
What? Oh,
well, you're heading there.
Potions.
Yeah,
We heard
so
he has some potions.
I'm really interested in his research on the aqua, the fun one.
Expurgo.
Oh yeah, the aqua.
Expurgo, yeah.
The aqua Expurgo. Yeah. Okay, so all right, if you're going to Oscar anyway, you have a way station. You can go to Shepherd's Gate. I need you to find out what happened with his potions. The latest ones suck. They are hurting people and they're faulty and they're not working. We need to find out what's going on. There's a theory that he's keeping a lot of stuff, like, it's not good. Like, he's doing monstrous things to make these potions. I just need to know, like, I say me. The Hooded Lanterns would like to know what's going on, right? If we are buying from an ill-reputed vendor, we'll still buy from this ill-reputed vendor, but we need to know why they're not working, that they're faulty. We need to know who we're getting in bed with, and we need to know why he's been lying to us. Right? We're not worried about the things that he's doing unless he's hurting any of us or any of the citizens of Drakkenheim that remain within the walls. But, we just need to know and figure out what's going on with his stuff. So, if you could figure that out, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no problem.
He sends apprentices, from what we could tell, to Shepherd's Gate to drop off the new shipment. Last I heard, they hadn't shown up in a little while. The potions just are not working. So we just need answers. So if you can get us answers on what's going on, that'd be fantastic. There's a reward to be offered.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is an official Hooded Lanterns mission because you're already heading there. We may as well link you up because you helped me with my sister.
I love that. Yeah, we'd be happy to help.
Absolutely.
Get the flow of potions moving again, and help you know who you're in bed with.
Yeah. Well, it's hampering our movement into the inner city, so any help that you can provide would be incredibly helpful.
Oh yes, absolutely. Shall we?
Great. All right, so we've got we've got a way to get in. We're simply interested in potions, trying to find out about the potions.
Mhm.
We don't need to knock the door down
So why
and
would we?
say, "Hi, we're here for your head." No, this is good.
Oh, we're
This is
not.
good.
Look, we're not really here for his head. I say, like we've left. We're walking down
Yeah.
the road. So this is look,
Anthem's like, what?
No, we're
this is just the nature of like the Amethyst Academy gets touchy about books, right? Particularly ones that they don't have a lot of copies of. So Oscar borrowed some books on his way out that he hasn't returned. And so there's a certain kind of blasé attitude towards his well-being because of that. But that doesn't mean we have to kill him. It's just there's gonna be some roughness whenever the Amethyst Academy is talking about him. Real stand-up guy though. I'm sure he's not experimenting on people in any monstrous way at all.
Definitely because he
Okay.
didn't take a book of necromancy and conjuration. Definitely not.
I mean,
Okay. Okay. Can I roll? Would I even roll insight on him?
You can roll insight on that. Yeah, absolutely.
Would I? I'm like, yeah.
It's up to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. 15. It's only 16.
16. Are you gonna roll deception, Phalese, or are you?
I think Phaley's concept of ethical experimentation is based around
Very loosey goosey.
there's formal guidelines from the Amethyst Academy, and then there's the informal guidelines that actually get followed. And so when he talks about ethical experimentation, like he's talking about like here are the things that are socially unacceptable among wizards. And Bailey's is 100% confident that Oscar wouldn't do any of that stuff. But like, there's definitely a space of things that would be acceptable to wizards that might be unacceptable to other people, and Bailey just doesn't think about those.
I think Ryan doesn't see Phaley's as trying to be deceptive. So the insight, I don't even know if I've done that. I think I don't see him as being deceptive.
You can do insight to figure out to figure out what you expect he means by ethical behavior.
Right, like a little overzealous maybe, but not trying to be deceptive.
Yeah.
I mean, or you have like a specific line that you wonder whether he might cross. Like Felix would answer questions about that.
We'll get
Additionally, one of the things that is not mentioned when which is why I asked for a deception roll, because I wasn't sure if he was doing it honestly or not, was the conversation wasn't about what Oscar was doing from the Amethyst, from River, right? River doesn't give a shit what he's doing. He does. Right. She does not care.
He wants his research. He owes it to her because he stole those books, and everything he does forever is forfeit.
Right, and so that's kind of the vibe. It's like the Hooded Lanterns want to know why his potions are so messed up right now. The Amethyst Academy wants his research, which essentially is in his brain or written down.
Right.
Both, if not either, if not just his brain. And so there are kind of components to this. That's why I asked for that deception roll. If you wanted to give the deception roll, was like there is such a thing as lying by omission, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not you were being deceptive by omitting the fact that we need to get the research for the Amethyst Academy, or we just need to figure out why he's not delivering the potions. Like those are two separate things. They just kind of converge on the same person.
Sorry, I was being deceptive with Ansem.
Right, which is
but a kind of deceptive where I was just like, no, I genuinely am super excited to see him, and to learn about his research related to this new potion, which presumably is a continuation of his older research around the Aqua Aspergo, right?
Yep.
This
potion.
But that was I said all true things, but that was with the intent of being deceptive to Ansem. Right. I wasn't trying to deceive Ryan at all.
Yeah.
I just don't have like a strong frame of reference for what other people think is unethical.
Yeah.
I get that. I wouldn't have had to roll for that. I think I got that.
All right, cool.
I got that.
Like, Thales has never had like an ethical issue with Ryan's cannibalism. Like it's just like this is unsanitary.
Yeah, it's a germ problem. It has nothing to do with ethics. That's
Totally not. I totally prepare it fine.
He's like
right.
aware that people don't
Makes
like
sense.
to be eaten after they die, but he's not like it's not intuitive to him why that matters.
Just like, oh, I'm not sure if I like that. Got it.
That's fine.
And look, I try not to eat the sentient. It's fine. Okay, cool.
Great. All right. Heading out.
That's
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
do it.
Drakkenheim.
Let's
I'm
start getting
back.
there.
I'm hungry.
Back into Drakkenheim. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll end there. But what we will do is we will roll. We'll do this next time so that we don't lose track of it. We got quite a number of encounter rolls to roll before we even get there.
Oh yeah.
So that's a good time.
Does the fact that we've like paved a little bit of a way for safety mitigate some or no? Like it's like
it
like
does
a encounter
in some
roll
ways.
safe spot, encounter roll safe spot. Like
There are places you could set up caches, and so this is kind of a thing that is a mechanic. They're not safe places, but what you can do. So if you needed to stay in Drakkenheim as like a safe space, so you move a couple hours in, you're like, we're gonna stay here for a short rest or whatever. You can spend an hour and clear the area, so you won't be surprised. And then you just stay there. You do a short rest, or you spend some time doing whatever you need to do there. Clears that place out. But the minute you leave, it becomes a non-safe place again because you're not sure what has kind of moved or.
Oh, I
shifted
like
into
that. So
space.
instead of like taking the chance of maybe we get an encounter roll that's on their terms, we say, okay, we're definitely going to have an encounter, but it's going to be on our terms.
Right.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and so
Right.
it's there's that. You could also, if you clear an area that's safe, so there's no encounter, then you could spend an extra hour and you could do like look for delirium stuff. So that's like all the things that you can kind of start to move with, but you don't get any additional safe places no matter what you clear. That being said, you can, for these longer jaunts, you can leave caches of like healing stuff, or if you're like, I have a bunch of loot and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out safely in the area that I want, I'm going to put it in this cache, and maybe someone stumbles across it later, or maybe you come back for it because you can move faster, stuff like that. But there's no like clearing areas of Drakkenheim yet.
It's a crowded city.
Yeah, and I will
Right.
add the yet onto that because that does change later. But that was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where like things start to shift in this city at a certain point. We're at a kind of a pivot point of the history.
Yeah, I mean,
of Drakkenheim,
already
so.
there's two, maybe one groups of people that seem to have figured out like a way to defeat the haze, and that is kind of the thing that keeps Drakkenheim fun. Like in the heavy scare quotes sense of fun, right?
Yeah.
Like that is why there's so many monsters here, is because people like us can't just hang out here all the time.
Right.
And as you go up in levels and you get more experience here, you're going to be spending a lot more like overnights because you're going to be deep in the inner city, or like the encounters are going to get longer because you are kind of working your way and kind of clearing these areas out. They don't really become safe spaces, but like if you go to the cosmological clock tower and you clear that out, the harpies don't come back. Like that's always going to be a safe place for you.
Right.
Or at least
But-
safe from harpies.
Well, exactly. Right, but it's above the haze, so like nothing can really get up there. So if you create the barriers and you like close off the stairs and stuff, you could be like, yeah, that's our hangout when we go to the inner city. We just pit stop there, we do a long rest, and we're ready to rock and roll.
Definitely that's the plan. I do suspect that like
sounds good.
okay, so like right now we found out, oh, there's a spot above the haze, and all we got to do is kill the people who live there, and then it's ours. Like once we take that, we're king of the hill now.
Yeah, and that's a substantive movement in clearing this place out.
Yeah, like we do. I'm too excited to go speak to Oscar. But if we have the gumption to afterwards, I'd love to like
100%.
Yeah, but like pop over to that.
I want a home
couple
base.
up there.
Yeah.
I want cosmic clock tower home
I'm
base.
still looking for a cat, but cats are rare around these parts.
Yeah. And the cats you're gonna find in the city. It's gonna be a spicy one to be able to excuse me, tame.
Oliver,
I'm not looking for a tame cat.
Look for a mean cat.
Spicy's
Get a
good.
raccoon.
Well, I
Awesome,
could do
or
some
skunk.
cat drop soup, perhaps. Oh wait, what? Never mind.
All right, shall we roll?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to roll, for now, we're going to go ahead and end in just a second here. But yeah, we can go ahead and roll the encounter, and I can make a note of it.
All right.
Let's do it. Let me go to the encounter. Where's
Oh,
my encounter?
can I do the 100?
We're just sticking with this for the rest of the thing. You
So-
can get the 100.
I got the 10.
I got a 10 on a 20.
I got a 95 on the
A
100.
95.
Ooh.
Sick. All right, let me pull open my tables here. Let me find it.
Rocking a pretty 8.
This module is fantastic. It's also massive. So, all right, here we go. Oh, that's fun. Oh yeah, it's a good time. What you got an 8 on the
10.
on the 10? Okay, and you got a 10 on the
10 on the 20.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. That actually works really well.
What
Sick.
do you mean by
Walk
that?
through the gates of Drakkenheim. The ancient red dragon lands.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It lands on the walls.
Just waiting for Josh to say, this one looks great. You might want to have those second characters ready.
Those are just always good to have.
I also will add, because I don't think I read about it, and I read it like right when we started tonight, and I wanted to bring it up, and then it was never an option. You can always scale the walls of Drakkenheim. Should you want to go over, you can like climb them.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
So,
know that.
yeah,
The impression I got was like these are not scalable by non-magical means.
Oh no, you can like hook rope like your way up. Like that's
sick.
That's totally an option. It is a possibility that you can choose to do. That's always an option. You have to buy the stuff, and it's got its own risks.
We
but,
have the stuff. Yeah.
So just
I've
throw it out there.
got a climber's kit.
I don't have a grappling hook, but
I got stuff.
Yeah.
I've got
you
skin.
get stuff?
Your dick.
Sorry, I just wrote down in my inventory skin.
Yeah, I feel like at least for now, going to the gates is probably the more intriguing option. But definitely once we sour all our relationships,
Inevitably sour our relationship
Which is
with
inevitably
everybody.
going to happen. Yeah.
Or you can go out that way or go in like each of you don't need a rope to climb it. You just need one, up and over, and then you just leave it and grab it when the last person goes over. That so that's an option. Just want to throw that out there.
okay, yeah, that's good to know. Thank you.
But okay, great. So as you make your way back into the outer city of the city of Drakkenheim, which is very, very quickly becoming familiar territory to you, home field advantage. You start to move through the streets of the outer city, and that home field advantage comes in quite handy as you round a corner and you see a group of 3 individuals that are also kind of picking their way through the streets of Drakkenheim, and hear you coming, turn around, and immediately pull their weapons out, knock arrows. Looks like it's just a bunch of other adventurers that you're coming to Drakkenheim means you got stuff. You're coming prepared, you got stuff, and they will. So we'll pick that up next time.
That's so exciting because they probably got stuff too.
Exactly.
Right, cool. I'm like, still, what are they wearing?
It's a Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
What are they wearing, and do they burn? Oh, sorry. Wait.
These are just humans. So.
Well,
Oh man, I'm so bummed. We gotta go. That's a good
maybe they'll be our friends.
good place to wreak havoc.
Sure.
Yeah, we can.
We
little
look-
dogs
you
and we
can
gotta
try
leave
and
'em
convince
alive.
him. Yeah.
Friendly meat shields. Friendly meat shields.
Honestly, yeah.
No, I don't want any hirelings, or at least I don't want these guys for hirelings. Humans, ugh.
Gross. Okay, let's see. We'll do this before we go. I want to set the tone for this, so I want to try and find out because there's a specific chapter on these. There's a whole chapter.
Ooh.
Chapter
on this,
on what,
on this
sir?
exact
Just adventuring
thing.
parties.
Oh yeah, that's so fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that is so fun. Oh man, sick. All right. Awesome.
All right, next
He's
time.
so excited.
I am so excited. I love this. Is essentially just NPC PvP, and I love that.
Oh.
That's so fun. That's so cool. I'm so excited.
Let's do it. Let's
I'm
do it.
very familiar with the levers of this game, and oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great. All right. Awesome. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time when these intrepid 3 fight the evil 3 that they have come across.
Oh, and so, is it too late to say that I've got mage armor up? Like I was planning on having it, on casting it with my first spell slot every adventure.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right,
That's
thank
fine.
you.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for the fun, y'all. Everybody have a good one.